Let's go ahead and get it live. Is that Liam? D Liam? Liam is in the box? Oh, wait. Where's the mute button? Liam is in the box. I just wanted to make sure you were in on the live as you got blocked. You're perma. Goodbye. Ah, that was refreshing. Like I said, Liam is permanently banned. I did that for free, by the way. I did that for free. What's going on, everybody? If you guys are over on YouTube, hit that like button. If you guys are over on, if you're on the YouTube, hit the like button. If you guys are over on TikTok, go ahead and double tap that screen, comment, interact, help get some people in here. Gonna be real with you. It's flipping hot. So I'm gonna go with this. I've been sweating in that ad all day. It's freaking hot. How's my hair? Terrible? It's not the best. Yeah, I'll put the hat back on in a second. I gotta wash it. I'm gonna be real. It's unbearably hot. Unbearably hot in Seattle. Crazy, out of the blue. What is it right now anyways? I got the AC on. I can't turn it on. Heat advisory. What do they say, 76? There's no fucking way it was 76 today. I'm gonna be real with you. Well, wait, what was it? I said 78 is the highest? I don't believe it. It was fucking hot. We've had like over 80 already, and this was hot today. Hot. Liam is good for business? Did someone pay to ban Liam? Why did I ban Liam in the first place? Someone said losing virginity's final boss. I have to tell my girlfriend. And your mom. Terrible. It's cloudy here in San Diego. Trade. Honk's obsessed with me. Bro's got to get a job. He literally comes into every fucking live. He's like, hey, get a job. I don't have one. I'm in here. Anyways, if you guys want to go ahead and double tap the screen, comment, interact, help get some people in here. It was 101 today. It's crazy. Crazy. I think it was 80, but it was hot. It felt hot. It felt really hot. And on top of that, like, I don't know. It's cooking. Even the walls here are hot. It's hot. All right, we got Luis. Is Luis debating? I don't think Luis is debating. You're used to 70s? I don't know. It was just... All right, what's going on? Oh, it's property gingers. And Liam? Why was Liam banned? I'll tell you what, Liam, you can pay me $100 to be unpermanently banned. But here's the thing. You trade the ban permanently with your brother. I don't know why the AC is not working that well right now either. Why are you a grifter? I don't think you know what grifter is, but that was not the right answer. Immediately blocked. Immediately blocked. Property gingers. Immediately blocked too. I just don't want to deal with either of those idiots. I feel like they're given way too much clout for being nobodies. You know? Like, people talk about them way too much. I think they talked about them more than they talk about me, which is weird. Weird. Anyways, if you guys are over on YouTube or Twitch or TikTok. We do have a sub goal today. Ms. Hyde, appreciated. Thank you for the 6 months. Resub with the tier 1 morning. I didn't see it. I'm going to add that into the gift goal because I didn't add it in this morning. I'm going to keep track of the daily subs, by the way, and we're going to tally them all up starting this weekend. So there's that. Tallying them all up this weekend. We're on a backup account because TikTok sucks.
Yeah.
And I think we might stay on this account, to be honest with you. You know. Can I go over the jobs report? Yeah, jobs are down. Jobs are down. So, jobs are down. They're the lowest they've been since July of 2024.
They're
They
praising
could
it
be
as slightly
revised.
higher,
Huh?
but they're praising it as slightly higher than expected. But this is what 139,000
That's
jobs.
so weird. He creates a That's so weird. He creates a worse situation. He beats the job numbers by the way, only 10,000 jobs, and it's down from I don't know, the last 6 months of Biden were right around 225,000 jobs. We're at 135,000 jobs, and they're going, look, he beat the expectations. Yeah, the expectations that were lowered. He beat the expectations that were lowered because he fucked the economy up is crazy.
Now that's
crazy.
A businessman.
Yeah.
Got a lot happening in the news today, and rather suddenly too.
Your mic is a little low. Plus, I have the fan going because it's fucking hot.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's really hot today.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. Just like it was like fuck, outside. I don't know why. It only said 78 degrees, but I'm gonna be real. It felt hot, and I've been in some hot ass weather over the last few weeks, and it was fucking hot. Like I think it's the hottest day of the year for me, and it's only 78. So I can imagine. I think maybe like those window unit air conditioners. Mine just got recalled.
Oh.
But also,
why?
Apparently there's was it Medea or whatever, that brand, they recalled 1.7 because the drainage is improper, and so it's caused mold growth.
Medea?
Yeah. So it was
She's
recalled.
had like 7 movies.
I know. You'd think they would get it right by the 7th one. But I guess, so I have to call them and find out. The unit is like 4 years old. It cost me like $500 fucking dollars, and I don't want to replace it. I thought I was just going to do the Freon. So I'm like, fuck. I don't know what I'm going to do. Just pull the thing apart and check to see if the drainage was right. I don't want mold shit in here. Probably just call them, see if they can repair it or something. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
He didn't lie. You just have to actually read what he wrote. We did. He lied. He lied. It's funny, the stuff he tells the truth about, you guys don't believe him on. It's a little bit weird.
Convenient, isn't it?
Yeah, we have a 30 sub goal for today. We're going to see if we can get some debates over on TikTok. I'm going to be real with you. I feel like if I could go live earlier in the day, we would get more interaction.
Yeah, that 3 o'clock start time is pretty good. Felt nice and refreshed, finishing up at like 6, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I have my son, though, so how am I supposed to do it? Plus, I have everybody else. I mean, it is that if you guys watch it later, but I mean, I have a lot of people that watch later. And it is if you watch later that they would be having to watch the replays. So I don't know. There's also the issue that I have my son. But yeah, that 3 o'clock start time had a lot of viewership. Was good. This later start time. So, Dagny, appreciate it. Thank you for becoming a member over on YouTube. Let me go ahead and get you put in the sub goal there. There you go. I'm gonna set a subscription goal on here. What's the 1 second. I think we have a single sub. So I'm going to set the subs at 10. I don't know what I think the subs are like more expensive on this account. I don't know what the subs cost on here, to be honest with you. But I'm just going to we have 2. I'm going to set it at 10 because, we're on a backup one. So, anyway, where you been? Been around. Been
You've
here.
been here. Yeah.
Literally, I've been streaming on my backup account, and I've been streaming on YouTube, so
Mm-hmm.
you guys are unable to see it. I mean, like, I try and put this account live on here so you guys can see it, but, you know. No, that 3 o'clock spot is nice because people are getting off of work, you know. It's obviously, if I'm streaming at this time on both coasts, it's 9 o'clock. So if I stream at 4, it's 4 here, it's 9 there. It's able to pick up more people, but I don't know. This is kind of where I'm at right now for here, so. I mean, I could start it. Des, appreciate the sub. Thank you for the sub over here. Des, appreciate it. I'll add that in there. But, yeah, it is what it is. So, wasn't there something that happened in the news today that was major?
Yeah,
Sorry,
Kilmar Garcia.
Yeah, Kilmar Garcia coming back. And they're going to charge him
Yep.
for crimes he did not commit. I really, truly hope that the Trump administration lawyers that bring this case get sanctioned and lose their law license.
And
I really,
it is so
truly
telling. It's so telling how little confidence there is in this case, with the fact that Ben Schrader, the former chief of criminal division for Nashville, resigned in response to this. He's calling it bogus. He's saying that this is out of line, that this is entrapment. And I trust his word over theirs.
Yeah. I really, truly hope that they go after the lawyers. I hope that they go after the lawyers. I hope that they come for them. And, yeah. Dagny, appreciate it. David, appreciate the 10. Thank you, David. Appreciate it. Can we get some dubs and drumsticks in the chat for David? Appreciate the 10 over on YouTube. YouTube is coming through. Name, appreciate the 20 gifted subs. Name, damn, with the 20 gifted. We're at 23 already. Can we get some dubs and drumsticks in the chat for Name over there? Appreciate it. If you guys got a sub, give a shout out. David, appreciate it as well. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. I got that sub goal updated. 23 out of 30 already. Nice. Killing it on the subs. Maybe we should have a TikTok versus YouTube. Because here's the thing. There are less people on YouTube. Granted, the subs on TikTok are more expensive. But if we were to do it, I would have the lower tier. I just don't have it because I set it up for going live. So I didn't expect there to really be any subs on this account. But I can set that up to match it, and then we can do like a sub war. Nicole, appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Nicole. Drew, appreciate the 5. Thank you. I think bringing Kilmar Abrego Garcia home is a deliberate distraction to take away from Trump being in the Epstein files. Yeah, probably. There's that. Drew, appreciate it. Thank you. And again, appreciate it for the corgi over on TikTok. I got to pick a channel. I can't. The problem is I have to bounce between them. On TikTok, I can't. If I get an agency, then maybe it'll be better, but for now it's not. So, by the way, for you guys that are over on YouTube, I wanted to bring this up again because I brought it up one time already. Did I miss something here? I wanted to bring it up one time again already because if there are people that watch the show on a regular basis that would like to be able to clip for me some stuff. Hey Kelly, appreciate it for the 5. Thank you for the 5 over there, Kelly. Can we get some dubs and drumsticks in the chat? Appreciate it. But if you guys are willing and you guys are normal usual participants, you want to do more than just watch over there and clip stuff, we can set that up. So if you guys are interested at all, DM me on Instagram and we can work something out. I got to figure out how to do it this weekend, spend some time tonight. And then basically if a clip comes up and I maybe it's an RTP thing because I think RTP has it so he can clip, but I haven't talked to Jen. So if that's the case, yeah, but I'm trying to create clips so that I can post to like this account on TikTok for 2 reasons. 1, to drive people into the live. 2, it'll help out because I can post it and make money off of it. And it probably won't do very well, but if whatever money it is what it is, and it'll help. And literally it just requires someone to be like, clip, done. Just a 60 to 3 minute 60 second to 3 minute clip. And it'll help out the live, help me out, and allow some good content to end up on TikTok shorts as well as the various different channels. So Pepper, appreciate it. Thank you. I'm new here. LOL, it's actually 18 months. Pepper, appreciate it for the 18 months. Thank you. And Kelly, appreciate it as well. We got 24. Appreciate it. Thank you guys. So yeah, Kilmar Garcia is coming home to charges, which is a big old slap in the face. Insanity, actually.
Just
Hey,
anything to
another
find
sub.
justification for the wrongful deportation that he experienced.
1 second. Yeah. They're trying to be like, oh well. So I have 4. I was 2. So I got 2. Wolf King, Dissandra, Bori. Appreciate it. Thank you guys. So I got 3 totals. I had two. So I had 26 now. Nice. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for the subs over there. Is he gonna sue? Oh fuck yeah. Oh yeah, he's
He
gonna
should.
sue. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, he's gonna sue. And there's lawyers all over the country that are
Yeah. They are
itching to take
salivating
this.
at this.
There are people that are. He's gonna have the most dominant legal team in America. Yeah. It's like there are people salivate, like Jaden said, salivating to get their hands on this case. They want to embarrass the Trump administration. They want to set a standard. They want to make a name for themselves. They're going to come for him, period. And you can say all of this shit about how the Trump administration is going to fuck with these lawyers, probably going to try. But at the end of the day, these lawyers can make people's lives miserable. So Trump can give the order all he wants. But these guys can go and they can sue, they can file complaints with the bars, they can go after their license, they can go for sanctions, they can go for a whole litany of shit to fuck with these people's day up. David, appreciate it, thank you. And the whole point being is that, yeah, they're gonna take that. Now, are they putting themselves in the line of fire? Absolutely. But you better believe that there's a whole host of people that are going to be through, when this is all said and done, there's a whole shitload of lawyers that are going to lose their motherfucking jobs, and because they're gonna get their fucking license taken away for obviously violating their ethical oaths. And this is, I think, a very clear fucking case of that. What are you gonna come? What evidence are you gonna have? I think it's very clear. So we'll see all what happens, but I think at minimum, Kilmar Garcia is going to sue the United States government. He's going to win. And if I'm on that jury, I'm writing the blank check. Taylor Swift up in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got KT,
Thanks, David.
User, and Kevin. Kevin, hello.
Hey, how's it going?
What's going on,
Good
Kevin?
yourself?
Doing all right. How you doing?
Nice.
Cool. So what's your take, Kevin?
What were y'all talking about exactly?
Whatever you like.
Yeah, we were
whatever
talking
I
to
like.
Kilmar, but
Okay. So what is y'all's mindset as liberals? I can't understand a liberal mindset. What do y'all want to see done to the country?
Well, we're not liberals, we're progressives, but Medicare for all, public financing of elections, raising billionaire tax rates, a cleaner environment and energy infrastructure system, free public higher education. Let's see. You got anything else, Tommy? Oh, yeah. Women's rights protected,
yeah,
LGBTQ rights, disabled rights protected, civil rights protected.
just a decent person. That's all we're trying to do. Just be a decent person. Nutcracker, appreciate it. Thank you. I'll read that in a second.
Yeah, free school lunches. I would like FEMA to actually deliver on the responses that happen. Just 1 second, this last thing, and this is important. I want FEMA to deliver on the response that is necessary for those red states that are currently undergoing a disastrous hurricane season and tornado season right now.
Yeah, I agree. I'm from Louisiana. I agree with that.
All right.
But when you say tax the rich, what kind of taxes do you think should be implemented?
I think we need a higher capital gains tax. I think a wealth tax is appropriate. I think when it comes to organizations like Wall Street, I think a speculative tax that would fund free higher education is necessary, free public school lunches. I think these initiatives would subsidize the American middle class to a degree that they never have.
Okay, so we're already in massive debt. So how much do you want to raise our taxes to be able to spend more? Because
How would that create more debt?
I would argue that we need to spend less since we're 37 trillion in debt, and now the big beautiful bill wants to raise it by 5 trillion. But
Nico, appreciate it. Thank you. Nicole, appreciate it.
y'all have no problem with more spending. So my question is, why would we need to spend more?
It's more revenue.
Right. So
Well, Well, that's
It
what I'm asking.
depends on
How
what we're
much do you
spending.
raise
It depends on what
taxes?
we're spending for, right? So in the instance of like the big beautiful bill or whatever, that's going to cost us $5 trillion, $3 to $5 trillion, somewhere in there, right?
Yeah.
So that's a concern, obviously, I think, to a lot of sane, rational people. What we're advocating for are policies that are going to be beneficial, in many ways, save Americans money or help the economy, right? So, like when we're talking about like either short term or long term, right? So when we're talking about universal health care, we're actually talking about lowering the cost of health care for Americans. How you pay it, who you pay it to is different, but the cost will be lower. We pay twice as much as Canada. In some instances, we pay 3 times, or what would be, we would pay a quarter. In some instances, I doubt we would get that low, but we would get at least half of what we went back into our pockets. There's also the aspect of like child care, right? If we have child care in this country where people can go back to work, that increases the workforce to a significant degree of people that can go back to work, et cetera, et cetera. So that $300 billion, you can say, well, that's going to cost us a lot of money to do that. It's like, yeah, that's true, but you're also going to send an insane amount of people back into the workforce, boost GDP, boost productivity. The list goes on, and create an entire new industry. And then the same thing with various different progressive programs. So it's not like this is just like we're spending money and not getting anything back. We're spending money for return.
Okay. I like how you talked about healthcare. I would love to go deep on this.
Sure.
So my thing is, so with our healthcare system right now, the problem is the government is writing blank checks to our hospitals. Y'all would love Trump's most favored country policy, where he wants to make it where Americans pay the least, for pharmaceuticals. Y'all obviously agree with that, huh?
In principle, yeah, I think his executive order
Yeah,
does
I do
nothing to
too.
achieve that.
I do too. So you agree with Trump on that? That's good.
Well,
So,
it's not Trump agrees with us. That's what it is. This is a liberal, a progressive position that somehow he holds. He's not doing it though.
but
Hasn't done it.
y'all's solutions aren't going to be solutions because the main problem is
Yeah, it
because
is.
no, because the government is writing blank checks to our hospitals. How do you
I don't know
fix
what
that?
that means. That has nothing to do
It
with the
means that
pharmaceutical industry.
what stops the hospitals and the healthcare industries from charging whatever they want to if the government is just going to pay it.
What are the blank checks you're referring to?
Going in for a checkup for strep throat and they charge you $300.
The government doesn't pay what? I'm
Well,
sorry?
the government is going to pay for that if you're on Medicaid.
How? Wait, but you're saying that they're doing that now, that they're writing
Well, of
blank checks
course
for
they
that,
are.
and they're not
Why do you think hospitals are able to charge so much money?
because they're privatized.
So you're saying make them public?
Yes. Ironically enough, if we were to expand Medicare and Medicaid, the cost of healthcare would be sliced in half, on par with what they are in the
Explain that.
UK.
Explain
So
that.
basically, you'd be paying no out-of-pocket expense. You'd be paying no insurance premiums, deductibles, co-payments, and extra additional cost.
Okay. Wait. So
Yeah.
who's paying for that? You said you cut it in half.
So
Who's
it's
paying for
paid
the
for
other half?
through taxation, but it's free at the point of service.
Okay, so you would have to raise taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So what about people that are paying very little for private insurance? How would that affect them now if they're getting taxed more?
They'd be paying less.
So you're saying, well, how much would you have to raise taxes?
So on average, if there were a payroll tax to institute this, it would be about a $1.30, $1.32 per week.
Okay, so you're saying everybody should pay a buck 30. I don't understand how that's feasible because I don't understand how that's feasible because the insurance companies right now are getting what? I mean, I'm not familiar, but it's definitely above 130 a week. So how are the insurance companies?
Well, because they're not paid for through taxation. They're privatized.
Well, still, even if they
I'm
are,
saying what it would take to fund Medicare for all would be a tax increase, a payroll tax increase of about a $1.30 a week.
so why don't private insurance companies just charge everybody a buck 30 a week?
Because they don't set those price controls.
So you're
They
saying
have no price controls.
so you're saying that they're profiting
Yes, there you go.
above one. So everything above 130.
Because they don't
Profit.
charge a $1.30 a week because they're not paid for out of taxation. I'm saying that the tax that you would need to subsidize universal health care would be on par with about $1.30 a week.
Well, why don't me and you, Jaden, start an insurance company and charge everybody
I don't want to
$5 a week?
start any insurance
No,
company
but wouldn't a
because the
billionaire?
purpose of insurance is to deny, depose, and the other one I can't fucking remember, but still,
Defend.
it doesn't cover everything and it doesn't
Jay,
cover
what you're
anyone.
saying, what you're
Doesn't
saying
cover
doesn't
everyone.
make sense.
Wait, so what is his contention about the? I mean, what's
I
your
don't know.
contention
What he's
about
saying doesn't
about
make
why?
sense. It's not logical.
Yes, it does. It makes sense
So
in
wait,
every other country.
Are you asking? Are you asking why we would pay less money?
Can't hear
I'm
you.
sorry, you're breaking up. I cannot hear you. I'm gonna read these off really quick while you fix that. Nutcracker, appreciate the 10 over on YouTube. Thank you. A Schmashtika has been spray painted over Donald Trump's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Police say it's impossible to tell if the act was committed by Trump's opponents or supporters. That's a great joke, actually. Nutcracker, appreciate the 10 over on YouTube. Could we get some dubs and drumsticks in the chat? Honestly, we should make clips of Nutcracker's best jokes and just put that on YouTube.
That should be a
Nutcracker,
book, actually.
appreciate it for the 10. Thank you. Trump
Can y'all
failed,
hear me?
appreciate it. I've already got some funny clips, especially with memes. I prefer to email them. It's easiest for me. I'll message you my email on TikTok. So if you do want to clip stuff from the live to get to me, it cannot be posted to TikTok is the thing, because TikTok's algorithm will pick it up and then it'll be like, this is reused content, and it'll flag me. So
Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you now. Just give me 1 second. So if you want to do that, that's fine, but it cannot have been posted to TikTok already. Otherwise, it will not go out. It won't send it out to people. All right, yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry. So is your contention that it's going to cost? You're like, I don't know why it's costing us less money through the government. Is that what your question is?
No, my contention, there's no way that universal health care would only cost us $1.30 a week. That's not feasible.
I don't know what it would cost.
That makes no
I don't know what it
logical
costs a
sense.
week. I don't know what it costs a week, but
Well, that's what
it would
Jaden said. It would
reduce.
cost $1.30
Jaden,
a
did you
week.
say a month or a week?
Week.
A week.
What
See,
would be-
that's
what
impossible.
was the calculation?
So there's different numbers that I've seen here. That was one of them, but that is a few years old of a stat. Some of them rank up to about $16.50 per week.
That's a big difference.
Okay.
It's a very big difference. I don't know why you threw out the 130. The 130
So
would
we
Because
be,
that's the one that I most remember.
130 would be like, you'd be an idiot to think that you could have universal health care for 130.
Actually, it would be about
I don't
right
think what
around
you're
there.
getting. It's cumulative. It is cumulative. So everyone paying that in a sum would account to what would be needed for universal health care. Not that you're just paying
Right.
$1.30 to get your health care.
Right.
See,
So we
no.
pay about $12,000 a year in insurance costs, and a lot of that is not actually for getting coverage. A lot of that is to pay for medical billing. It's to pay
yeah.
for the administrative costs. So 20 to 25% of everything that we pay healthcare related goes into administrative costs.
Oh, yeah, I
so
understand that.
right.
There's
So
just
when we get
different
rid of
forms
that,
of that.
right? So that's an immediate reduction. What Jaden's pointing to, and I did just do the numbers, we spend about $12,000 a year for a family of 4 on health insurance. Under a plan that would cut the amount to half the capita, half the cost, we would pay about $115. If it were to go up from there, that's a week. If it were to go up from there, it would be $130. So $130 doesn't sound that far off.
Wait, you're talking about 115, like 115, right?
Yeah, a week.
Okay, well, I'm just making sure because he said $1.30 a while ago. I'm making sure we're on two different things. But my
Uh,
problem is, guys, let's go to the root cause of why our health
I
insurance.
thought he meant
so high.
130. Sorry, go ahead.
I thought he said $1.30.
I may have misspoke. I probably misspoke then.
Yeah, okay, I guess you did. Okay, that's what I was talking about. Okay, but let's go down the root problem of this. The root problem is that our hospitals are able to charge whatever they want to.
Because they're privatized.
Right.
Well,
Well, I mean,
so
not on
tell me
not
under your plan-
Medicare, not on Medicare.
Under your plan, how would that fix that?
So on
Because
Medicare,
would
they're
set
not.
price controls.
Right, and Medicare
So
has
you would
price
put
controls.
price
So
controls,
when they bill,
okay?
so when they build the federal government, they don't bill them at this endless rate. They bill them at a rate that's set by Medicare. When they bill Medicare, they bill them at a rate that's set by Medicare.
but it's still enormously overcharged, enormously gouged.
I mean, it's really not. It's really not. I mean, there's if you could find me an example, that'd be fine.
So you're
Like
saying,
COVID care. COVID care is a good example of this. Like people that had to spend months in the hospital because it's a respiratory infection. The hospitals get paid about 30 something thousand dollars, and so they were losing an incredible amount of money. So it's not always a win for them.
so you're saying basically that if you have private insurance is paying much more than Medicaid.
Bingo.
So private insurance, like the way it works, is that a hospital will bill insurance for a incredible amount of money, right? And then they'll turn around and say, no, we're not going to pay that. We'll pay this amount, and then they'll inevitably settle on it. When there's a set rate, you don't need those people to bicker over the price. There's a set rate, and so that's a lot of what's happening in the private sector is that they're sending out these bills, these exorbitant bills, to try and get as much money as possible. And as a result, if you don't have insurance, those are the rates that are sent out anyways. So
So
people that
why
don't
would
have insurance are getting hit with rates that insurance companies wouldn't pay.
Okay, so is private insurance better than Medicaid?
No.
See,
In
that's
most
where I
ways,
draw the line.
in most ways, it's not,
Well, give me some ways that it is.
or it's
Coverage.
comparable.
It
So,
doesn't cover everything.
like you can find a system in the world that is universal, that is better than the United States at any given sector. And in a lot of ways, there are multiple different countries that rank better than the United States for healthcare,
Well,
both in
also
quality
you've
of
got to
care,
realize
outcomes.
you've also got to realize how big of an industry healthcare is in the United States. Sure, let's say we implement what you're talking about. I would argue that research, development, all that stuff would just go down to little to nothing, like these other countries. I mean, we lead the world. Our healthcare system may be pricey, but we do lead the world in innovation and development and
So
research and all that
we
stuff.
actually lead the world in that stuff because of federal funding to public research institutions. So what happens is you have research that's done, and I saw there some people speculate that it's 80 to 90%, but the numbers are fuzzy. But it is a significant portion. The initial research is done at a research institution. They sell off the rights to it, right? Whether it's through they're going to get paid they're going to get paid if for the actual amount, or they're going to get paid when the medication comes out, and they're going to be paid a percentage of it. They sell those off to companies. Those companies then develop it, and then they charge us. That happens frequently, and a lot of times they just charge stuff just because Eli Lilly was charging $300 for a vial of insulin that cost them a few dollars to produce, right?
Well,
Even though that
see, I'm losing you on one point. You're talking about Medicare is cheaper and that you fix the prices, you stop price gouging. But what about with our pharmaceutical companies? I mean, a drug that costs $15,000. I mean, Medicare would have to pay for that, wouldn't they?
yeah,
They
they would.
purchase it and set price controls, like they
Right,
did
they
a
do.
few months ago or last year
Right.
or
So
so.
But
there's
what
so the
about the
way that
research
the
and development cost?
right, so the research and development cost isn't removed from that, right? Like we understand that there are going to be some medications because either there's not enough of a market for it, in which it's going to be very expensive, and so the research and development is going to be very high, and the return on the actual drug is going to be very difficult. We can have government subsidies of that, but predominantly what happens, like in the UK system, is that you apply and go, I need this drug. It's way expensive. It's not in the actual UK, and it needs to be brought in for me specifically. You apply for it, they grant you out that, and then they pay out to that because it can be a really expensive drug. There can be drugs that like people are taking that not that many people take, and so making up that R&D cost is more difficult. But however, a lot of these companies are jacking up the price of stuff, not for the R&D on that, but for the R&D on future stuff. And so they're cooking in their R&D for other stuff into, like for Eli Lilly's case, they're doing it for profit and for research or whatever they want to call, but they said research and development, by the way. But Eli Lilly is doing it on insulin for $300 for R&D. So
Well, not to get off the subject, but you brought in the UK. Doesn't the UK have universal dental coverage?
I don't know if they do.
Yeah, they do, and that's why it's a joke that all Britain's people
What?
teeth are messed up. But that's
It's
just
because of genetics.
that's not because of
Yeah, I don't
genetics.
think that they
They don't have
have. I don't.
universal dental.
That we're
I'm
from
not
Britain,
sure that
buddy.
they
At least I
do.
am.
They
Um,
don't.
I don't know
I'm gonna
about
thank
that.
you guys over on YouTube in just a second. Actually, I'll do that right now.
Okay,
Like,
Tia,
don't
I'll
you,
read it. I'll
Stereotype.
read it
don't
out in
you
a second,
think?
but I'll give you guys some shout outs. Fredelio, appreciate it. Thank you for the 5 over on YouTube. Karmic, appreciate the 5. Thank you. And Tia, appreciate the 5 gifted subs. Can we get some dubs and drumsticks in the chat for them? Tia, appreciate it. Gonna add 32 to that. And I think we added another sub. Bop, Jader, appreciate it. Thank you guys for the subs over there. So we got 33 subs total tonight. We hit our goal. I think we should keep going. Tomorrow we're gonna have a subathon, and I'll tell you guys the rules in just a second after we're done and what's going on with all that. Kevin?
Yes. The UK does have universal dental insurance,
I'll
but
read
it's
to you
so
right
bad.
here. The
It's so
United
bad and
Kingdom
so
does
messed
not
up.
have universal dental care in the same way that it has universal health care through the NHS. While the NHS provides dental services, access and coverage come with limitations, and most adults must pay some charges for treatment. Below is a detailed explanation based on the available information, including the provided search results. 1 includes Brand 1, which is examinations, x-rays, scale and polish. Brand 2, which is fillings, extractions, and root canals. Brand 3, which is crowns, dentures, and bridges.
Well, they tried to offer it though, and it did not
Well,
work.
they don't have it.
Well, yeah,
When did they try
exactly.
to offer it?
Well, they tried to implement that,
Who's that?
like you just read with the NIH or whatever you want to, National Institute of Health. They tried to implement the whole universal.
So wait, you're saying that they did it and now they tried to do it?
Well, it's a disaster.
Wait, but did they do it or did they try to do it?
They tried to do it.
When was that?
I'm not too familiar with British politics. I just know that's
Well,
a
they
joke,
didn't try to
a
do it.
joke in mainstream. Anyway,
It's not a joke. They have higher life expectancies than we do.
well, yeah, there's a lot of factors that go into that. We're very obese and we're Americans.
They eat the same crap as we do.
I disagree with that. And we smoke more, we drink more. There's a lot of different things.
They smoke like chimneys over there and still have access to preventable health care.
Oh, I'm sure. Like any poor person in the United States doesn't have access to health care.
A poor person in the UK is better off than they are here.
I disagree with that.
Based on what?
A poor person in the United States can get whatever they want from the government.
No, they can't.
Name
They can't
one
even
thing-
get a bench.
Name one thing they can't get from the government.
I just told you. They can't even get a free public bench at the park.
John, appreciate the sub.
Are
Thank
you
you.
talking about somebody that's homeless?
What are you talking about then?
I'm talking about somebody below the poverty line.
Yes, they can't get whatever they want.
Somebody below the poverty line gets free.
Can they
food.
get health care?
Yes,
whenever
they
they
get free
want?
health care. It's called Medicaid.
They don't get free health
It's
care.
called Medicaid.
And there are qualifications that
So
go
what
into
is
Medicaid.
Well, if you're poor, you can get Medicaid. Is that
What are we
correct?
arguing? I
every
thought we were
poor person
arguing about the
qualify?
system. What are we arguing about
Well,
now?
now he's saying that
Medicaid's everything under Medicaid isn't free.
somebody who's poor can get free health insurance called Medicaid. I don't see what your problem
Okay,
is.
wait. So are you saying that Medicaid here is better than the NHS system over in the UK?
I'm not too familiar with their health system.
You're saying that it's better off here for a person to be poor than they are in the UK.
I'm saying that we shouldn't. Yeah, I would definitely say that.
Okay, based on what exactly?
Based on what I've seen in my
Have you
days.
been to the UK?
No, have you? I'm sure you have. I'm
Okay.
sure.
Well, then what are you going off of?
I'm just. You said that poor people in America can't get whatever
Yes,
they want.
a poor person with
Yes,
a
they can.
family of 4 still has to pay astronomical healthcare costs than a poor person in the United States, in the United Kingdom, Canada, France. The list goes on.
So basically, you want to solve this by raising taxes.
You don't? You don't want children to have health insurance?
Well, no.
No,
We're
I
not
would say
raising
go out and
taxes.
work
Hold
for
on a
it.
second. Hold on. We're not raising taxes. We're lowering the cost of your health care. You seem to be misunderstanding.
It's a trade-off.
Like, this is increasing taxes, but you're saving money.
But you've
Right.
yet to tell me how you're going to lower the cost of healthcare.
So I've told
We've
you
told
20
you
to
3 different ways
25%
to
is
say that.
administrative
gave me
costs. So we've told you administrative costs. We've told you setting price controls. That's going to bring down pharmaceutical costs as well as the cost of treatment, setting a standard to that regard. Nutcracker, appreciate it, Tommy. I've lived in England and this guy is full of
When
it.
you say get rid of administrative costs, what are you talking about?
So we're talking about the administrative costs of having to do insurance billing, of having to deal with insurance, of having to have an entire systems set so that you can trade off and contact and bill, and the list goes on, because there's a lot of interaction between doctors' offices, hospitals, insurance companies, etc. But having people on staff that do that, the billing side of it is very expensive. Obviously, there's going to be collection places. There's going to be people working on phones trying to conversate. There's a whole host of stuff. And
But how does universal health
real
care
estate.
get rid of that?
Right. So real universal healthcare sets rates. It allows Medicare to go, okay, we're not going to negotiate every single time a treatment is done. Instead, this is the price. And they negotiate it across all treatments, because what happens now is someone goes into say two people go into a hospital, okay, for the same treatment, same thing, relatively same area. One has a different insurance. The final amount may be different, right? The final amount may be different. And so you have a disparity, right? And so there's arguing that's going between those hospitals, their staff, the insurance staff, et cetera, et cetera. And so the insurance company, and one insurance company might end up paying more. One insurance company might end up paying less. Maybe they pay around the same, but there is differentiate. But if you have thousands or millions of people being treated, that number on what an insurance company is going to pay and how much they're going to fight it is going to vary, right? They have different costs for what they do. So if you set a standard of saying, this is the price across the U.S., right? That we'll negotiate with you, meaning you'll make money, we'll make money. Sometimes you'll lose money, sometimes we'll lose more money in the deal. But ultimately, you'll make money, and this is the price, and we don't have to fight about it. So all they do is go, this is the price, we did it, send it off to Medicare. There's no argument, there's no nothing, this is the price. We've set the price for you.
You're going to destroy the health industry in the United States.
No, the insurance
Yes.
industry.
We would destroy the insurance
it's
industry.
The insurance industry.
No, you're going to destroy the healthcare industry.
How would we destroy the healthcare industry?
why would
Did you not
anybody
just complain about? Hold on. Did you not just complain about blank checks?
Well, who's giving the blank checks away? The government.
You were just complaining about blank checks. The government is not giving blank checks away.
A quarter
Insurance
of it,
companies.
A quarter of them, they are. A quarter of them, they are.
A quarter of them what?
Are on
A quarter
Medicaid.
of the healthcare system is not on Medicare and Medicaid.
Yes, it is. There's with 25% of the people uninsured. I think it's like 23. With 23% of the people insured are on Medicaid.
I see. So can you give us a cost comparison versus Medicare costs versus private insurance? Are they paying less or more?
People on private insurance are paying more
Then what is your... Never mind. What is your contention then? Because this makes no sense.
if they get better health care.
How?
Okay, but where are you getting that from?
Well, imagine if everybody was on our Medicaid. Also, Medicaid doesn't cover all that
I just want to explain to you the system that we're informing you of, that you're just learning about, is the same exact system that's used in a lot of other countries to
I
great
know.
effect. Right. They
We're
have
different.
so I just want to point out a lot of companies, regardless, or countries, regardless how they do it, whether they do a single payer or whether they do a universal system, right? All of them have relatively similar outcomes, very similar outcomes, or oftentimes better. So for you to say that it's not determinate about whether or not we have a private system or a public system, it's simply determinant of the care of that particular country, very clearly. 45,000 people a year die. I want to point this out to you. 45,000 people a year die due to lack of health care in the United States. That does not happen in universal care countries.
I'm
So
sure
you saying it's better? Can you find me another country that has
Yes, it is
45,000
better.
people a year dying? Huh?
Already in the United States, doctors and hospitals accept less Medicaid patients. Already.
It's bad.
What happens when everybody gets
bad.
Medicaid? Well, what do you want
Then
them
they
to
have
do?
to get rid of. Then they can't accept certain types of insurance. They have to accept one. Otherwise, they don't work. They go
So
elsewhere.
how are
They
they
do something
gonna get
different.
their money?
They get it from Medicare.
Well, that's a less price than private insurance.
You're literally sitting here going, it's gonna, like, I don't understand how it's gonna be cheaper. We have to make sure these private insurance companies pay out a bunch of money to these doctors so they make millions of dollars. And I can't figure out why it's expensive. And also I'm gonna complain about it. And when you offer a solution, I'm gonna complain about the solution. So there's no way to fucking please you.
Well, this is a complicated system, and universal healthcare is not going to fix it. It's going to hurt it. I mean,
Why
look how
would
much
universal
cost
healthcare not fix
Look
it?
how much cost doing this. How much does it cost to get a degree to be a doctor? How much does it cost to get a degree to be a nurse? It costs a lot,
right? And I agree. We agree that it should be universal because we want the best people to be able to do it, not just people with money. No. We want people. Who are we hurting?
When you put a price control that they can't charge above a certain amount, you're hurting those doctors. You're hurting that hospital.
So are you for universal? Are you for debt forgiveness now on doctors?
No, that's spending more money.
Okay, then don't complain about it. What the fuck?
Not spending anything.
What are you talking about? Y'all guys
It's not spending anything. It's
That's literally not.
You are saying that doctors cannot charge what they want to. That's what you're saying. You're saying that.
Yes. Doesn't that sound great?
So how is the industry going to pay for all these expenses?
So what expenses?
How about first of all, you got debt.
Okay, really quick. How about you answer me this question, because this will answer your question. How does France do it? How do they pay for everything how do they pay for everything out of their own pocket and have better quality of care than us?
I don't know where you're getting the better quality of care from. I mean,
they have better quality care than us. They have the number one and had the number one ranked system for decades. I think they have number 4 now, and we're way down on the list. So how do they do it? How do they pay for it? Provide better quality of care, and their doctors are taken care of.
It's a different culture. It's a different. I don't know, but I do know that
it's a different culture. What does culture have to do with money? I don't understand what that has to do with money.
Well, what about lawsuits? I mean, what about people suing?
What about lawsuits? They have insurance.
Okay, they got to pay for insurance, so that's another expense.
Why do you think that these doctors are getting paid nothing? In Canada, they get paid to start $550,000 a year.
From who?
Do you think that's enough? From the Canadian government.
From the Canadian government, exactly.
Yes.
Boom. So how much money would we have to raise taxes to pay doctors $550,000 a year? We'd have to raise them a whole bunch, wouldn't we?
Drew, appreciate it. Thank you for the 30. Can I get some dubs and drumsticks in the chat for Drew?
Thanks, Drew.
I felt like there's going nowhere at that point. He doesn't understand how money moves. What am I going to tell you? So I was like, Drew paid to kick. I'm not even going to try and waste my time. Drew, appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it for the 30 over on YouTube. Can we get some dubs and drumsticks in the chat? I'm going to read these off real quick here. If you guys want to support the channel, you can sub. There's a Venmo Cash App in the bio. You guys can tip on any one of the platforms. I do appreciate the support. I got some news on TikTok in just a second. I'm going to go over this really quick. Fredelino, appreciate it. Tommy, stay away from my mom. Hashtag appreciate it. Thank you for the 5 over there. Karmic, appreciate the 5. Universal healthcare would free up talented employees to actually start their own businesses and not be locked to an employer for healthcare. Appreciate it, Karmic. Thank you. That's true. It gives people economic mobility. But more so, I don't want a doctor that's just a doctor to make a bunch of fucking money.
Yeah.
That's just it. Nobody wants to hire that. Literally nobody wants to hire that. People want to hire people that take pride in their work. You're telling me, and by the way, we want to allow the best doctors. This is crazy to me. If we're going to have the best doctors, one of the ways we would do that would be allowing universal higher ed. Be allowing the best people to enter those programs. That's not what's happening. People with money enter those programs, or people that put themselves in an insane amount of debt. And it pushes people away from going that route that otherwise would be more qualified, more talented than the class coming out. That's not to say that they're not. But if you're going for the best of the best, you want the best of the best to not have any inhibitions about going to college. So I don't think that doctors, nurses, I don't think anyone should be paying for college. I think that education in a society is an incredibly important thing, and you only advocate against universal higher ed if you genuinely want a stupid populace, like a theocratic fascist populace. Otherwise, you would want the most educated. In a system that we live in now with fascism, they don't want fucking smart people. They want stupid people. So you end up with yes men, and it destroys fucking countries. It destroys countries. We see it across human history. People go out and they look for people that agree with them as opposed to people that can do the best. America did the best forever. Why? Because we put the most qualified people in the position that they're in, regardless of whether or not they agreed with us. Biden brought in Republicans. Obama brought in Chuck Hagel. He brought in Republicans. Granted, I do have my inhibitions about that because there were other qualified people that weren't Republicans, but what they don't bring in is people that are yes men, which is why the person currently looking for terrorists literally worked as a fucking lawnmower not a few years ago. Did you hear this story? Right? Did you hear this, Jaden?
Mm-hmm.
The guy was a lawnmower. And he was a gardener and a lawnmower. And he's now he graduated from college at 22, and now, despite having no experience in national intelligence, no experience in any of that, is trying to identify domestic and foreign terrorists and extremists.
Now that's merit.
Now that's not, you can't justify that. There's no way to justify that. Tia, appreciate the 5 gifted. Can we get some dubs and drumsticks in the chat for Tia? John, appreciate it for the gifted as well. Sorry, it's a bit laggy over here in the chat. Just want to know, 1 second. Close down on me. Just want to know, was a Nazi salute now? Oh, it was a Nazi. Yeah. Can you explain that now? Appreciate it. Thank you. We're up to 34 subs. Appreciate it, John and Tia. Appreciate it as always. Nutcracker, appreciate it. Tommy, I've lived in England. This guy is full of it. I know. X3, appreciate it. I'm from the UK. Can confirm what Nutcracker said. Appreciate the 20 over on YouTube. Can we get some dubs and drumsticks in the chat for X3? Appreciate it. Jules, appreciate it as well for the 10. I work major medical and dental insurance. This can be done in a country and will also have almost the same amount of jobs. We will save so much money per household. Jules, appreciate the 10. Thank you. X3 again, appreciate the 20. Drew, appreciate the 30 for the kick again. Thank you. And Nutcracker, appreciate it for the 5. The average cost of a 4-year medical degree in the U.S. is around $235,000. I feel like that's a good investment. And I don't know why Republicans are so opposed to investing in our country and investing to the people in it. I don't understand. I truly don't understand. If you guys are debating, go ahead and hop on in the box. There's about 650 people in here. If you guys sub, would appreciate it. Did I thank everybody for the sub? Bop, appreciate it. We're up to 34, so we beat our goal again. I said it at like 10 an hour. We've already beat it in an hour. Appreciate it, guys. Awesome. Thank you for the subs. Trying to build out the channel, and hopefully just continuing this will continue to grow the channel. I mean, we've already got some more viewership over on YouTube. We've got some more viewership over on TikTok, even on this burner-ass account. So if you guys want to support, sub over here, sub over on TikTok or YouTube. You guys can sub over on Twitch as well. In the link tree in the bio, there's a way to do it for free. If you have a Prime account, you basically get to take from Bezos. It's great. David, appreciate it. Thank you. Nicole, appreciate it. Horror Chick, Tonya, or Tanya, I'm not sure of the correct pronunciation. Taurus, appreciate it. Ashley, appreciate it. Thank you, guys. If you are debating, go ahead and hop on in the box. We got someone waiting. I'll let them in and see what's happening.
Alrighty.
Double tap the screen, comment, interact, help us hit the coin goal so we can get out on the For You page and get some more people in here, and that would be swell. User, what's up? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Oh, where's my thing? Yeah, Drew paid to kick that last guy, and I was like, I don't know how much more concise I can make what I'm saying, that you're not actually paying more money, you know?
Yep.
So, anyway. Sorry, just a second. Yeah, so it broke by the Daily Beast. It's today the 6th. It broke yesterday. There's a kid in charge of our national or finding and identifying violent domestic extremists. A literal 22-year-old kid just graduated college. I'm crazy. By the way, if you guys sent over a Venmo or Cash App, yeah, he was a grocer and did a bunch of random shit.
Mm-hmm.
There is a Venmo Cash App in the bio, by the way, if you guys want to support. That's another way to do it. But yeah, grocery clerk, and he's now
Yeah.
no experience whatsoever, none. This is the
Mm-hmm.
death of democracy. Democracy dies in dumbass kids, I guess. This is where we're at. You see this really frequently. I'm going to tell you exactly what we're going to start seeing, because if you guys remember last year, one of the things I said that we were going to watch domestic extremist uptick in the United States over the lack of people and not being able to find them and identify them. And I think it'll get worse as we go along. I think that's abundantly clear that it will continue to get worse as it goes along. I think, though, that you are going to watch, because of the people that are now being placed in power. I really think that you are going to watch, if I'm being honest, pretty much all of the things that we tried to prevent in passing legislation and funding things. Those things are going to start to fail, and we're going to end up having to deal with the consequences of these fuck-ups. So, for instance, one of the examples that I use pretty frequently is like, this is like an insurance. We pay on things so that we don't have to deal with them later. We don't have to deal with the repercussions later. We pay for pandemic prevention preparedness and identification, and finding and identifying various different diseases, so we can prep, so we can study it, so that we can create appropriate cause of action. And the Trump administration is stepping away from that. We, for instance, look for bacteria and viruses and various different pathogens within food. The FDA, there are at least 2 states that have no testing, and the FDA backed out of it. And the guidance was not set up. There was supposed to be guidance set up to be given back to the states. And they're now pausing a lot of that testing. The states are doing theirs, and there is some overlap. But basically, they just pulled the plug. So we don't know really what's going to happen in that regard. They stopped testing on chickens and bird flu. So God knows. Because Trump, by the way, just to point out, Trump culled 20 million chickens in his first month.
Mm-hmm.
And the Republicans said nothing. That process has now stopped, so who the hell knows what's going to happen with eggs as this thing starts to spread, and especially true going into the fall when it starts making its way back into populations, which is going to happen. Start making its way back into bird populations. So,
And didn't he put forth the pretty drastic cuts to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration or something like that? NOAA?
Yeah, so he put cuts to NOAA. Now, there was some discrepancy with the tornado that came through, because some people were watching it. Apparently, NOAA was in the building that day, and they were watching it, and they didn't send out a warning. And there was a lot of Twitch streamers that are like meteorologists that stream meteorology on Twitch, and they were like, they should be warning. They should be warned. They should have been warned 5 hours ago. And so that never went out. Why? I don't know. NOAA is claiming that people were there, that they were working, but for some reason, for some unknown reason, they did not send out a warning, despite the fact that, at least by the standards of what people who are, like college degree and like expert meteorologists who stream were like, yeah, they should have done this. They should have done it. Why they didn't, I don't know. And they were right.
There's actually a clip I wanted to send you. There's a weather reporter who's covering the coastal weather changes in hurricane seasons, and he didn't have enough forecast for the next week because the weather services provided to them had run out of funding. And this was live.
So, yeah. So, I mean, we're watching as these repercussions are going to become bigger, and they're going to snowball. They're going to snowball, right? Like, I mean, it's like this. Like, you try and make sure, like, if you have a part on your car that's hanging on by a thread, right? Like, say you're, I don't know, there's a support, it's I think it's called like an A pillar or something. I can't remember what it's called, but it like, basically it holds your tire up, right? So when it bounces, and it's this under thing that comes out, and it comes down here, and it's got tension on it and keeps your shit aligned. And if that snaps, a lot of times, it can literally throw the whole front, just fucking throw it. So the tire will literally lay flat, like just. And I actually saw that the other day, by the way. And I've seen it before numerous different times on the road. It's not very frequent that it happens, but it does happen. It would be like if your car was fucked up there and it was like, oh, it's about to fall off. And then we're just like, and we keep driving. You get on the freeway with it and it breaks on the freeway, it's going to be catastrophic. Right? That's what they're doing. The fucking feds are raw dogging life right now. I'm just saying, I don't think they're random. I think we're driving around on a car that's waiting to fucking detonate. I think that's what we're doing. From FEMA to, you know, like, we have safety checks for stuff. We pay in for insurance. We're just like, nah, we're gonna raw dog it. We're gonna go through life.
I'd say
you know, there's a tie rod.
A Flintstones car with the floor removed, and we're using our feet going downhill.
There's a tie rod, and if the tie rod breaks, so there is the tie rod, but I don't know if the tie rod breaks. Would it split like that? I don't know. I'd have to check. I haven't been in a car in a minute. But yeah, we're setting ourselves up for disaster. The FEMA cuts. Mm-hmm. We're going back to the same. This is true. Okay, we're going back to the same FEMA that fucked up Katrina.
Yep, worse actually.
Control arm. The lower control arm. You're right. That's right. You good? Lower control arm. The tie rod can break. I was trying to, because I remember I saw someone's tie rod break in their car, like, but I think that there's a lower and an upper control arm that I think hold it in place, and the tie rod is just there for turning. I don't know. I haven't worked on a car in a minute, but yeah.
I got to thank some people real quick. Drew, thank you for the handsomeness tariff. You got to pay that. Thank you for the 30 bucks.
Teacupping.
And K-Bug, thank you for the 10. No, I'm not.
Teacupping.
Am I? I mean, what?
Yeah.
Better?
Yeah. I was thinking CV axle. I'm going to be real, Jaden. I got to be real with you guys for a second. Yeah. I got to be real with you for a second. Did you have more people to thank? Sorry.
No. Is it the thing back?
No, you're not. You want to drop out and rejoin?
Yeah.
Tie rods keep it aligned with each other. Wheel? Yeah, they you can adjust the tie rods and stuff. CB axle, that's another one that's under there. But I think it's the lower control arm. If the lower control arm snaps or breaks, then the thing just flattens. It's real ugly. CB axle clicking, I can replace my own CB axle, but a CB axle clicking is it drives me nuts. So, dude, this is true. I upped my ADHD meds by 5 milligrams.
Mm-hmm.
Where's this been all my life?
Yeah, you seem more restrained. Focused.
Where's this been all my life? Today I was like, I feel like a normal person. I feel like a whole new woman. It was actually like, I'm dialed in. I will say, there was a bit like where I was just like, I felt icky for a minute, where it's like, it's just buzzing. I was like, I don't like this. I just want the focus part. Like, I got over that pretty quick. I think maybe Vyvanse might be the answer, but it's expensive.
Okay.
But anyways.
Yeah.
Feel fantastic. Fantastic.
That's
Appreciate
great.
if you guys supported and subbed. By the way, thank you guys. I was zoned in all day. I was like, I feel like I'm in it.
That's good.
We have a meteorologist in training in Shells, who I don't know is there. We'll let Gills in because they were waiting to come in first. So.
Oh, if it isn't RFK.
It does get better. I hope it does get better because I feel great. Yeah. RFK, what's up?
Yeah, I wanted to chime in since y'all were talking about like how the meteorological field has been absolutely getting gutted by the Trump administration. Like, even though we already seen FEMA cuts, we already seen how the NOA has been getting cut, that has been causing less um, air balloon air balloon operations around the country, which is causing our which is pretty much causing our forecasts to be less accurate. This is also can potentially happen when it comes to hurricane season, especially that we are projected to be on an above average hurricane season.
Hmm.
Um,
Doesn't help that the FEMA chief wasn't aware that we had hurricane season.
uh, like I still cannot for the life of me because I live in Western North Carolina. I already had to deal with Helene, and I remember him doing a photo op over in the town like north of me. So
Hmm.
um, I'm already looking at pretty much the Gulf of Mexico, seeing how it's already heating up. It's already getting a lot of heat already, and seeing and that's usually my most concerning area when it comes to looking at hurricanes. Because if that Gulf is extremely hot, anything that goes in there is going to explode.
Oh yeah.
I and we already saw that with Milton last year
Hmm.
when it went from a tropical storm to a Cat 5 within 24 hours, which is unheard of. This is the
Right.
fastest a hurricane has ever developed that quick.
And it's
Um,
rare that we see a 5.
oh yeah, it's not often that
Well, it
you
used
see
to be. It used to be.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
but
It was like
uh,
a cat 4? No way. And I was like, cat 5? Call me when there's a cat 6. We're good.
I mean, we could be seeing some crazy stuff. I'd say a great preview is Hurricane Patricia back in 2016, and that was in the east, not the east. It was in the western eastern Pacific, and
Hmm.
it had wind speeds of 210 miles per hour, which, which is the highest wind speeds ever recorded from a hurricane. But
Right.
great thing is it didn't hit really anything that was populated. So um, but all I would say is that especially
Is it?
cutting the funding down to like Katrina levels, you are bound to have some sort of major disaster if anything comes in. Because Katrina was only a Cat 3 when it landfalled in Louisiana.
Hmm.
So imagine something even larger that doesn't have the right infrastructure.
Yeah.
Like you could have something that happened up in my region, or you could have a levee broke and the whole city is just destroyed because of it.
Hmm. And we had Hurricane Hillary 2 years ago or so. That we don't ever really get hurricanes here in California. And that's a Category 4 out of the blue.
I have a
Yeah,
question, and you
'cause
can tell me no if I'm tripping. I just want to know for clarification. I'm assuming they start modeling hurricane season now. Is like the funding cuts going to affect that? If I'm wrong on that, by all means, I honestly don't know. I'm just curious as to what depth that's going to have.
it the thing is that usually the NOAA usually works with the Air Force when it comes to dealing with tropical systems. So that might that I'm not 100% sure if it will directly be affected by it because they rely on the Air Force to do those types of operations. So if they cut that part of it, then yeah, that might honestly affect what forecasts may say when it comes to it.
Okay, awesome. Well,
Mm.
so we're waiting. So we have 4 years. Let's run the numbers here really quick. We have 4 years, right?
Hmm.
And you're cutting everything that's supposed to protect us. I mean, people don't get this.
Now.
Like the reason that we so after Katrina we completely redid how FEMA works, ground up, completely redid it, and it works really effectively now because of what we did. Trump's now undercutting that. It'd be surprising to me if FEMA worked at all during a next natural disaster. I don't expect Republicans to pay attention to it, but I don't really foresee how we make it through 4 years without some catastrophic fucking nightmare that is amplified by the cuts, amplified by the miscommunication, because during Katrina, miscommunication was a major thing. And amplified by just structural changes within it. Like these things, like when we're like, and like to use specifically what happened during Katrina, there was no communication, there was no plan. FEMA had no idea what they were supposed to do, and like they weren't given any guidance. They're right. The response came late. There wasn't any guidance given by the federal government, because the federal government didn't know what to do. Like, oh, we're just waiting on FEMA. And when they found out, like, oh, there's nothing to do here because FEMA's so fucked up, we can't even. Okay, so they had to just like everything was a complete fucking disaster. And so one of the things they did, which Republicans still don't understand, was that most of the FEMA and people that work for FEMA do not work for FEMA. They are FEMA certified and they work at their local police departments, their city council members. You can go and apply online to be a FEMA member, and it works on a hierarchical structure. So like you're the person that they go to, and then they find someone higher, and then they go to them. And so it can work in really small communal areas where it creates a hierarchy for structure. The Trump administration is undoing that. And so we go back to a time where there's not that structure, there's not that communal coordination, and more importantly, FEMA is not going to be able to coordinate as well. You see this in instances of like 9/11, miscommunication going on. There's simply nobody looking. There's no structure there. And so basically, you're creating, like if you were driving a car, you're creating blind spots around you. And how long are we going to drive with this many blind spots before we just wreck? My guess is it's going to happen more than once during the Trump administration. What's going to happen is going to be a disaster. They're going to blame Biden and the Democrats, and then they're going to go, we're going to fix it. And they're going to go right back to the way it was. That's my honest guess.
Mm-hmm. Right now, there's a perfect storm already brewing when it comes to like some sort of major disaster, because right now they're already spread pretty thin, trying to help with the people that already got affected by multiple tornado outbreaks throughout last month. And there's already there's like limited supply going on when it comes to some of these places that some of them haven't even been accounted for yet. There's still places that still look like a war zone at the moment.
Yeah, Arkansas right now.
Yeah, well, but Tommy, like that, trans people in sports. John, that's a good one. Plane crash, hurricane, war, domestic terrorist attack. I think terrorist attack, pandemic, and well, I think in order it would be catastrophe, probably plane crash or multiple, followed by domestic terrorist attack, and then followed by pandemic or some other major issue.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway. I just want to point out that China has been this is a crazy thing. China's economy has been raising. China as a country has been raising, and they have been going up in GDP and growth, and they haven't cut a fucking thing. They've only spent more. Gills, appreciate you coming in. Gonna see if I can take this. I think it's a debate. Appreciate you coming in, though.
No problem. Y'all have a good night.
Take care.
You too. The grid breaks would be crazy. Honestly, I can see that. It's impossible to know. I mean, truly, like we have no idea what the fucking outcome here is going to be. We don't know. Like I'm just telling you, like when you defund a bunch of shit that protects you, and it's the government, the consequences of which can be catastrophic on every level. All right, we got El Predictor.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, sir. How are you?
What's going on? How old are you?
I'm 25.
All right. What's going on? What's your take?
My take is, to be honest, the Latino vote is like a free agent, if I had to explain it that way. So if anyone can acknowledge us, you guys can have our vote very easily, and just acknowledge the Latinos, and whoever's party is listening, you guys will win. So please acknowledge us, and we feel lost and confused.
Wait, why would you feel? Okay. I don't. Okay. I mean, that's kind of true, but it's like the Democrats did reach out to the Hispanic community, and they were
No, I tried. Me and my family are Democrats. Well, all of my family, even like uncles, cousins, and we tried real hard to listen to Mrs. Harris, but she didn't acknowledge
Ms.
Latinos at
Harris.
all. Yes, Mrs.
Yes, she
Harris,
did.
because I say Mrs. Harris because I struggle with her first name, but
Oh,
she
it's
never,
Ms. Harris. She's not Imhoff.
right, but she never acknowledged Latinos. She acknowledged illegal immigrants, but she didn't acknowledge Latinos. And if she did, it was not really
But did
like
Trump?
Trump did a good job on that.
Trump did a good job.
He didn't.
I don't know how Trump did a good job. He rallied against undocumented immigrants. He's now talking about going
Yeah,
after
because of the
homegrowns.
open border
I,
policy Joe Biden
there is
did.
no open border policy, and
Yes, there was.
there isn't an open border policy. Period. Number one, there's
For the
not.
first.
Number two,
Oh,
can you
sorry.
imagine how stupid it is that you're sitting here telling me, well, she didn't acknowledge us when Trump is telling you exactly what you're going to do. And I know you, as are you a legal resident of the United States or a legal citizen?
I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm born
Cool.
in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Awesome. As a U.S. citizen, I know that you haven't been slammed into the ground yet by ICE, but I can assure you,
No,
you
I
will
haven't.
be. Yeah, I know. You and a whole bunch of other people have already been slammed to the ground by ICE that are U.S. citizens.
Yeah,
And you're going to sit there and
but
go, well, she didn't acknowledge
sorry.
us. I feel like I'm gaslit here. She didn't acknowledge us enough. When Trump is telling you, I'm literally going to take your fucking rights away and get rid of homegrowns. That's what
No,
he
but
said.
sir, I'm saying that I regret my vote and we got tricked because what I'm trying to tell you is Trump knew what he was doing his first term where he made the approval rate for Latinos to get working visas, visiting visas, and U.S. citizenship. At the end of his first term, he made the Latino numbers for those go up
Why do you
without even
care?
changing.
Why is it? How does
Do
it
you have
affect
numbers on
you?
that?
Because Latinos want paperwork. We want U.S.
How does that?
citizenship.
How
The
does that?
second
How does it affect you? How does that negatively affect you?
because it affects my community and
Yeah,
all
I
my
does
I
it
don't know
affect
that
your
those numbers
community?
are true.
I don't think
It
I
they
is
don't know
true,
if those
are.
sir.
numbers are true.
ppv.nc.gov. And sir, just my last
Okay.
question
Wait,
is
what does
is
that?
we
Wait,
did
no. What does
hold
that
on,
have
sir.
to? Hold on. No. How does that have to
Yeah.
affect you? How does people coming here document have to affect you to the degree that you're going to put a fucking fascist in office that's going to
No,
come after your
it
community?
affects. No, it affects
Why the fuck
Latino
am I
community.
defending your
I,
community? Can you explain
no,
that to
not
me?
you.
Why the
I
fuck am
am
I defending your community for
Katie
because my
shit
here?
you
people
voted
because my
for?
people no because my people do a lot for the economy and we build the houses, clean the houses. Not only that, we're the second biggest minority here, and our vote goes a long way. You guys lost this
So
election because of the
what
Latino
could the
vote.
Democrats have done? Said, hey, we're not gonna fucking come after.
Remove programs like DACA, and also, for example, sir,
Why would you
let's
remove
say
DACA?
DACA's popular,
no,
especially among
DACA's a
Latinos.
trap. No, DACA's a trap for us, sir.
DACA's a
How?
If
trap.
you
What are you talking about?
wait, hold on, because Jane is asking how. Because if you were to ask any DACA person right now, would you want to become a U.S. citizen, but we have to remove your DACA? What do you think they will choose?
DACA, they don't
They
That's
have
want to
not
be,
an
DACA status
option.
anymore. And it's never
huh?
been an option.
But that's my
DACA's
point.
over.
Why
DACA's
not
been
make that?
over.
Why not make those people U.S. citizens? Why
Oh,
even
I
set
don't
them
know.
up
Why
in
didn't you?
in the first
It's
place?
fucking shocking to me you don't know the answer to this. And you're going to blame the goddamn Democrats. You know why? Dreamers?
Yes,
You know
because
why dreamers aren't fucking U.S. citizens? I just gave you the act. It's the Dreamers Act. You know who voted against it? The fucking Republicans. The fucking
yes,
Republicans kicked it. No, not
yes,
because
they're
you
removing
said
it
you
because
wanted
they
them
want
to
U.S.
become
citizenship. They want
right,
a
because
pathway
the
for
Dreamers
citizenship.
would have given them a path to
You
citizenship.
can't become a citizenship if you're a dreamer or DACA. You
But they
can't.
have
They
protections from
tried to
deportations.
pass
Thank
a
you, Jaden.
bill
So they have
back
protection, but
before
Jaden, don't you think
DACA.
they want to become
What are
U.S.
you not
citizens?
understanding
It
about
didn't
this?
prevent them from doing
Wait,
that.
can you not
What are you not
be talking
understanding
so
about
loud?
this,
I'm
dude?
actually
I
I'm
know
being
because
calm.
you're not understanding what I'm saying.
I am.
We
I am.
tried
I
to
am.
give people in DACA citizenship under the Dreamers
Jaden, you
Act.
understand me, right? Like I'm responding
Not
to him, right?
I want you to listen to what because you're not listening.
I'll mute
Okay?
myself. I am.
I don't need you to mute. I need you to understand. You just said that you want them to become U.S. citizens and they can't under DACA. They can't become U.S. citizens, period, because the Republicans killed the Dreamers Act. The Republicans purposefully stopped those people from having a pathway to citizenship. And you're
Yeah, I
sitting
have
here
a
saying the Democrats are responsible for this. It's fucking
no,
crazy.
no. It's not that. It's
The
I can
Democrats, by the way, Obama put into effect DACA because the Republicans refused to act. So don't sit here and go,
Latinos
oh,
have a
we
bad
just want
taste
people
with
to come here
Obama.
legally. We just want people to come here legally.
You
Bullshit.
can't bring up
The
Obama when you
Republicans,
talk about Latino, sir.
I can do
Because the
whatever
thing
I
is,
like. Isn't that
no,
fucking
you can, of
crazy?
course, but I don't punch low and say Obama put us in cages and deported the majority of my people. I don't punch low. Like, I don't make
You
that the
can't. You
majority of my
can make that
point.
argument. He didn't put people in cages. Did he deport a lot of people? Yeah,
No,
he
he did
did.
put kids in cages.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
You're not even aware of
But
what happened. You're not old enough,
well,
sport.
no, I'm just saying if
By the way,
well, thank you. I
you
mean,
were
I'm
still wet in
25
the
now.
fucking bed when I was covering this, when I was learning about it. So maybe sit there when it was happening.
Okay, you're older than me. Like, what
I
does this
know.
mean?
So you don't
Okay.
know what happened then. I
What do you mean I don't know
100%
what
know
happened?
that you
What?
don't, because you just said, well, he didn't. He put kids in
You don't know
cages,
what
which
happened in the
isn't what happened.
1920s because you weren't born? I don't get your
It
logic
isn't
here.
what happened.
This is what
He
I
didn't
mean
put
by
kids in
bad end goal.
cages.
You guys are
Period.
losing the
He
Latino
didn't
vote.
put kids in cages. That's
I
not what
came here
happened.
respectful for a good end goal here.
That's not what
Okay, well, you're not
happened. You don't
listening.
even know what happened.
I am listening, sir. You know this. I'm responding. I'm muting myself, and I wanted to give you guys a solution. Like,
You
like we
haven't
have to
proposed
keep
anything.
Why
Yes,
the fuck? How
'cause
the fuck
I
could you
can't
give
talk.
us? How could you give us a solution? You voted for
It's
the
very
fucking
simple.
problem. Maybe you should shut the
Clearly
fuck
argument.
up and listen to what we're saying. You
Well,
created this problem, not us. You
so
created this
question.
problem. Stop talking. You created this problem, came in
You're having
here,
a fake
and then
power
I'm
trip.
talking. I don't know what you're not understanding about this. You created the
Oh
problem.
man.
Come in here, goes, man, I was wrong about that. And then go, this is what you guys actually have to do. Like, we're the fucking problem. This is a goddamn victim blame. We are
It's
subject
not
to
victim
your
blame.
shit. Your
We're
own
lost and
group,
confused.
your own group of people in America is subject to the shit you did. And you're sitting in
Yeah.
here going, well, this is how you could have prevented it. Why? Because you're too stupid to
Thank
understand
you.
what we told you was going to happen?
Yeah.
We told you what
Yeah.
was going to happen. What do you mean you're going to sit here and tell me how to solve the fucking problem? It seemed to me like the problem was telling you what was going to happen. That was the way to solve it. Don't vote for the guy. And you did it anyways. And now you're coming into my live after we said this would be the outcome going, well, this is how you can solve it. It's fucking batshit crazy.
Can I just ask you one question? If we
Did you
vote Mrs.
understand? Did you
Harris,
hear a single thing I said?
yeah, I did. That's why I'm not going back and forth with you. Why would I waste my time? And I hear
Okay,
you.
don't waste your time.
But that's why I'm.
Do you have anything to say, Jaden? I'm kind of done with him. I mean, if he's not going to listen,
particularly.
I don't really think there's anything
Well,
that. Do you
I
want to
did
talk to him?
listen.
I mean, if there's
You
not,
have.
if you're not going to listen, if
Well,
you're
I
not going
don't
to take me
disagree with you, so
seriously,
why
there's nothing to
respond?
talk about.
Well, I was gonna ask you something else. If we did vote Mrs. Harris, who will be getting deported right now?
It's not
Don't respond with
Mrs. Harris. But okay.
don't respond with amount. But right now, who will Miss Harris be deporting right now? Who's the target if Miss Harris was elected? Thanks for the due process, but who will be the target right now?
It would be undocumented immigrants.
Which is, when I mean by that, what is their culture and background?
Are you
Because
trying
it hasn't,
really quick?
It hasn't changed since 1986.
It really seems like you're trying to say that Harris would have been as bad as Trump or did the same things to Donald Trump.
No, what I'm saying is Miss Harris would have still deported over 86% Latinos, and that's something you're ignoring. And
Who are most of the undocumented people in this country? Literally, you know why the Democrats, you know what's crazy? You know why the Democrats have taken such a hard line approach to this? It's because people like you and the Republicans tell them that this is a problem. And so they feel the need to go out and go, I got to take care of a problem, something that I really don't think is that much of a problem because these guys fucking care about it. And so you're sitting here going, wow, I voted for Trump because we need to deport undocumented immigrants, but also shame on Kamala Harris for doing exactly what I voted for Trump for? Are you okay?
So you're
Did you think this through before you came in here to embarrass yourself?
Why is it worse that Harris does the same thing you voted for Trump to do?
Because what you guys are ignoring is Trump knew what he was doing in his first term, where in his last year he made the approval rate for Latino numbers to go up, and that goes a long way for us to get
by
US
doing a
citizenship.
policy that you disagree with.
No, it's no policies. It's the exact same immigration legal system for them to apply. Trump used his power and approved those numbers. You guys have
then
such a
shouldn't
hard on for
Harris have
policy
run
and
on his
legislation.
exact plan? Shouldn't she have run on his exact border plan to appeal to minorities then, to appeal to Latinos?
No, instead she
You're saying
wanted to
what?
keep this app. No, she wanted to keep the app with this border
Oh,
pass.
God,
But
Leof,
you're
appreciate
saying
it. Thank
worked
you.
with Trump.
You guys
Leof,
can laugh it
appreciate
off,
it.
but
Shouldn't
there's a
she
reason
have
why Latinos
played
went the
his
other way.
playbook? Shouldn't she have played point for point through his playbook
Yeah, Biden
exactly
did deport
what
more,
he
but I don't
said
like to
and
bring that
did?
up.
Okay, but shouldn't she have done exactly that and campaign on deportation, campaign on mass deportation now, campaign on
No,
calling Puerto
instead,
Ricans trash?
no. Instead, she lied. Instead,
How'd
she's
she
ignoring the
lie?
truth.
She's not
Be-
president. That's not a
So
lie. She couldn't
what did
enact
she
those
say?
policies.
So, Jaden, what did she say about my Latinos? Over 86% of us getting deported.
She said she
What
would
did she say
deport
about that?
transnational gangs, which she's done as Attorney General.
No, it's not.
Yes,
She's
that's
Wait,
what she
really quick,
specified.
what do you
since
think the percentage of people that Trump has deported are Latino?
it's over 86%. It's like 92%. But it's like the same result at the end of the day. With the
Bro,
other
every
side.
time you
Look at
talk,
it.
you make my point for me. It's
No,
crazy.
you hate that I'm like have no pride and I'm telling you straight up what it is. You hate it.
What I don't
You hate that I
understand
have no
even what
shame.
you're
You hate
saying.
that I have no pride.
No,
You
I
hate that I'm
hate
telling you that the other side is worse for us. You hate it.
the other side
You
is
can't
worse for
tell me
you.
why
How?
a Latino should vote the other way.
Hold on. Really quick, just do some
I'm
simple
so
math
happy you're
here.
calm now, though.
Really
I'm
quick,
glad.
let's do some simple math here. Is 86% more or less than 92?
For me, how I see it is Latinos at the end of the day. That's a
I
high
don't
number.
know. I know. I just asked you that question. Is 86%
No,
more or
I'm
less
answering
than
you.
92?
That's not how I see it. I see it
I
over
asked you a
all
question.
those
Why
people
won't you
being
answer
Latinos.
that question? Could it possibly be because answering that question would completely
I did.
dismantle your argument? Is
No, it's not.
86% less or more than 92?
Hostage is still made the same way,
I don't know why you're
unfortunately.
not. Why are you dodging this question
Because
so
he knows
bad?
that it
Because
runs his
I
argument to a
know it's just
wall.
kind of cringe at
Because
this
you
point. I
already
don't know.
know what's
I don't
going to
think I'm
happen,
power
right?
trip.
Because then be genuine. You're
No,
trying
I'll
to
answer
say that
you.
Harris's
Donald Trump
policy
deported
would
more.
be worse. You said that your complaint was that
I never
migrants that
said
are
worse. It's the same
Latino are
thing,
being
though.
deported.
Just due
Stop talking.
process and
Stop
exchange.
talking. Shut up. Like you don't understand the contradictions you're having here. You're saying that Harris is worse despite deporting less Latinos. You're also saying that deporting Latinos is good, but
No,
deporting
I don't know
Latinos.
Mrs.
I
Harris
said I didn't
Latino
say talk,
numbers.
bro. I don't know what you're not getting about that. You
That's
have
why you're losing
ran
your
literally. I'm
hairline. You're
trying to
gonna lose your
explain to you.
hairline more,
Listen.
bro.
I
Stop being
don't.
so
I have a
Yeah.
perfect
miserable.
fucking hairline, bud.
No, you're
You
not.
tried.
What?
You real
Whoa.
fucking
No,
tried.
corner.
I
No, you
know.
don't.
You
Turn your
tried.
camera on, man.
Yeah, you
Yeah, it's the
tried.
corner.
Perfect fucking
I
hairline,
wish I
bud.
tried that before
But
I did
okay, you really tried. You tried to go ad hominem.
No,
You
the
got your
corners
shit
are really
rocked on
bad.
everything else. No, they're not. Shut up. Or you could
That's
turn the camera on and show us how busted you are.
I swear
Like
to God, they
hammer
are.
time.
You
I
probably
need
think
you to
the hairline's
stop
a straight
talking,
line.
bro. I need you to
I can't
stop
turn my
talking.
camera
I
on.
need you
You
to
don't have
stop
an argument to
talking.
gun off about hair.
You need to stop talking, or I'm gonna kick you
I
out
do,
live.
but he just got
I know.
sassy.
I think this is what's happening. He's got
Yeah.
rocked during this debate, and so what he's doing is he's trying to steamroll it
No,
because he's losing.
no, I'm
Clearly.
happy
So
I got hurt.
okay, you
I'm
can be
happy the
heard.
Latino.
Stop talking.
Also, thank you.
Stop talking. On behalf of the people that you
for
want
El
to deport
Salvador.
that are part of your fucking group of people, stop fucking talking. Thanks. He left. I told you he was gonna leave. This is the logical bullshit that just happened. Harris is going to deport less Latinos. We need to deport more Latinos. Trump is good, even though he's deporting more people, despite the fact that I don't want more people deported, except that I do. Don't talk about Obama, because Obama deported more people that I also want deported. Don't talk about, or I'll talk about kids and how they're locked in cages, despite the fact that that policy was created under Donald Trump. I'll say there's an open border policy, despite the fact that I don't have any evidence to that, and I will go ahead and just steamroll the whole fucking conversation with contradictions and then never clarify. Crazy. Sass, you can join, you're getting blocked. Last chance. Next time I see you, you'll be blocked if you don't join. You can come in here and spam my channel every day. If you're debating, hop in the box. If you're not, please hop out. Would appreciate it. Sus on the two accounts in here.
I can't see him.
I don't... Did any part of that argument make sense, by the way?
No.
Apparently, Dean kicked him out
That doesn't
earlier.
surprise me.
That's the least surprising thing I've heard today. The least surprising thing I've heard today. Let me write down that time.
Anyone else?
Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah. Parker? Yeah.
He kicks on every live? Yeah, because he doesn't have the fucking ability to formulate a thought process.
What's going on, guys? How's it going?
Tony, what's up?
Hello.
Please make more sense than the last guy.
What's up?
Hey, 1 second though, real quick. Leoff,
yeah,
appreciate it.
no.
Thank you for the sub, Leoff. Appreciate it. Trump is going to issue an executive, or not the sub, the $5 over there. Thank you. Appreciate it, Leoff. Trump is going to issue an executive order saying from now on all hurricanes will be named after Elon's kids. We got Hurricane X.
Hurricane X.
It's coming in. It's not as bad as the next one that's going to come in. That's Elon's next kid. Anyways, all right. What's going on? What's going on, Tony? What's your take? What's happening?
So if Elon is a liar, Doge is a lie too. So just kind of clarifying. So we're talking about, is he lying? If he's a liar in general, and therefore because he's a liar in general, therefore his efforts are Doge is a lie.
Is he right? Is he a liar? Is he a liar, or is he not a liar? Because we said that he lied about Doge, you guys said no, he didn't. That was accurate. Or I'm sorry, I don't know if you're a right winger, but they said no, that's accurate. That all that stuff was true. And now he's either a liar or he's telling the truth. So it can't be both.
Yeah.
Before you go, well, you're trusting him now in this, but not in that. I already know that Trump's on the Epstein documents, and I already know for a fact that Doge lied. So it's not a contradiction of terms for me.
How do we? So, and I'm trying to understand, like, so are we saying that Elon's a liar because of Doge, or are we talking about Elon's a liar because of general?
Well, I'm asking Republicans if Elon is a liar, if he's telling the truth about Trump and Doge, or if he's lying about Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So if he is lying about Trump, therefore he must be lying about Doge, and if he's not lying about Doge, therefore he's telling the truth about Trump. That's what you're saying.
That's
well,
right.
Right. Well, I don't think that's inherent,
Really?
but I think it proves out that he's a liar.
That
That's the question that is presented to them. Is he a liar? Is he a liar? Can he lie, or is he telling the truth?
I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, I think he can be lying. He'd be lying about something. I don't know what exactly. I mean, in terms of Doge, like I know that the Doge team is reporting one number, and I know parts, like there's a lot of the media that's saying the other. And I do have a question about how they reconcile that. Like, where is the media getting their source, and then where's Doge getting their source? Doge is saying it because they're saying it directly, right? And where's the media? Like, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go on.
Well,
what I'm saying is that, like, is there? Okay,
yeah,
I think we're.
No, you can finish. Go ahead. You're all right.
Yeah. So, for example, like if Elon's in Doge, he obviously sees it, and then so does the Doge team. So they would make their claim based on what they see, unless they're able to like take a screenshot or something like that. And then if the media is saying their sources, they're saying no, what's their source without actually taking a look at the numbers, like being in there directly?
Okay. First thing first, Doge is just identifying what they presume to be irrational or irresponsible spending. So this is all congressionally appropriated. It's basically a group of people saying, no, we don't believe this. They're not removing the funding. They've tried to stall it and inhibit it, and they've lost in court very concisely and very clearly. But in the instance of where Doge is lying, right, if you take, for instance, you've heard the claim that there's something like 12 million people on Social Security that are over the age of 100. Have you heard that?
I've heard that, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. So that claim actually comes from a complete misunderstanding of how the Social Security system works. So, and it really comes down to the fact that the people on the team are too young, and the people they're too unqualified. They don't understand how the system works. So you have 12,000 people over the age of, or 12 million people over the age of 100 that are on Social Security rolls, of which only about 60,000 centennials are pulling Social Security. So there may be 12 million people on the list. There's not 12 million people pulling from Social Security. We already know that. Those numbers are publicly available.
So what exactly is the Doge? Because if it's already there publicly available, where, by the way?
So it's already been released by the Social Security Administration. That number came from them. I think it's 60,000, 45 or 60,000 or something like that. I've seen it as high as 110,000 for 2020. I think now it's down to like 60-something thousand, or right around 100. But it is. So they're saying, right around there.
Yeah. So they're saying these people are being paid that. Now, if what was put out, and I'm just trying to understand this. So like, what they're claiming is that the money's being released, like an auto pay is being released to so many centenarians and stuff like that, right? Automatically. Could it also be true that that's also happening as well?
It's
Right?
not.
Flying under the radar.
But
and
it's
being,
not. They're
being
not
sent out?
claiming that money is being sent out. They are claiming, I mean, they may be claiming that, but they're not showing evidence that money is being sent out. They're showing evidence that there are 12 million people on the rolls in the Social Security Department, which is true. The reason that that's true is because of something that happened 25 years ago with Y2K. I don't know how old you are.
From my understanding, they are claiming that, though. My understanding, I think DOGE is claiming
Okay,
that
well,
the money
they would
is
be
going
100%
towards-
wrong
wrong.
because we already have the numbers. The reason that there's 12 million people that are over the age of 100 that are still active on the rolls is because of Y2K. Right? It's because of
wouldn't you-
Y2K. It's
but wouldn't-
because those systems in the Social Security Department they're very, very old, and they're ran on a two-digit
Yeah, with
sequence
Cobalt.
because back when it started in the 60s, it's Cobalt, right? So back in the 60s when it started, it was 2 digits. And so
Right,
in order for
but
them to
wouldn't-
circumvent
wouldn't you know-
Y2K, and because it was really expensive, by the way, to have data, I don't know, it sounds like you're in data science, but
No, I get it. I get it. I mean, it's all convoluted
Right.
and stuff like that. But like, what I'm saying is that wouldn't the only source of truth be if you were looking at the same data they were, like going through Cobalt, going through all the data, as opposed to
Well, they didn't
something
look
stated
at
on
it.
the internet?
they didn't
didn't look
release
at
the
Cobalt.
data. We also have inspector generals that go
Well, how
over it.
I mean,
Like,
they
I don't know
can-
if you know this, we have inspector generals that go over this in these complaints. We know how many people are being released that money, and this has been confirmed by the Social Security Administration. There's also inspector general reports. They have not released that
So-
money is actually coming out there. There's not 12 million people. The government
Have
has
they
previously confirmed.
directly disputed?
Hmm?
Like, have they basically said we've seen the same thing and we don't see the exact same thing? Have they publicly stated that?
Publicly stated. I don't know what they publicly
Social
stated
Security?
or haven't stated.
No, have basically you're talking about these investigators, that like the independent investigators or the oversight, the previous oversight. Is that what you're talking about? Have they publicly
I
stated
right
we've
about
seen
you
the same
being
thing?
Was I right about you being a data scientist, by the way?
For
I'm
me?
close. Yeah. I don't know what you do for a living.
Sorry, who are you talking to?
You. What do you do for a living?
Me? No, I work
Yeah.
in tech. I work in tech.
Okay.
Yeah, I work.
I knew it was
directly
like
in
tech or data science
Yeah.
or something like that, because nobody really knows what Cobalt is.
Yeah,
but
not-
sorry about
I work. I closely work with a lot of people in tech, especially data scientists and data engineers.
It was giving.
But like and just to let you know, like where my position is that I have been hearing all over the place of whether Doge is a lie or not. And one of the things I do question, now I'm talking about like from my point of view, when I hear the media say this is false, Doge is false, the first question I ask is, well, how do they know, right? Like without actually even looking at what the Doge team is doing, because otherwise, and every single time I read these articles, especially from mainstream media, like CNN and the rest, it's like, oh, we heard it from somebody else, you heard it from somebody
Right.
else. And I'm like, yeah, but how do you know?
What's
Like that, and that's always been the argument I would hear again and again. And I'm like, and that's why I'm bringing it up to you guys. Again, I'm coming from a place of not trying to be hostile. I'm just kind of understanding where that's coming from, because
so
otherwise
for
we're
instance,
kind of
like
jumping to
so for instance, like we know that they're lying because numbers have already previously been released from 2020 or 2022 on centennials, how many are in the country, and also how many are
That's-
still collecting.
sure.
Right? How many over that age are still collecting? We also know their track record about lying about certain things. Like you remember, for instance, they said we cut money to transgender studies, right? Or to like that were going on. Do you remember that?
The mice.
Right.
The
So
trans
it
mice,
didn't have
trans
it didn't have
mice
to do with
specifically.
it didn't have to do with transgenic mice. They actually did provide the studies, which I looked over. The studies do not have to do with trans people. The studies have to, in large part, do with various different hormones and how they affect things like healing or things like psychological help or things like that, right? Where there was very little application. There was some stuff that had to do with gender affirming care, but they were larger studies, largely talking about cis kids, not so much trans kids. So, and these are smaller studies, but they're talking about things that have to do with hormones and saying, well, this has to do with trans people, but they don't. And so when I see stuff like that, like, oh, they're
Right.
lying, right? But they're lying. And that's a problem.
Or it could be a mistake.
Well, if
like-
it was
like,
a
I think
mistake,
that
how many
many
more
people-
mistakes do you have to make?
Yeah.
How many mistakes do you have to
Right,
make
but
where it's
I
like
think
one
that
right
people-
after the other?
Sure.
And it's like one right after the other.
Yeah, but But I think the thing is, and this is why a lot of people have
I think
a
you're
lot
giving
of
him too much credit.
and I'm not talking about you guys especially. Well, listen, what I'm saying is that I think that the reason why people have a hard time with many of the political discords and some people get turned off by politics is they ascribe intention very quickly. Like, as the old saying goes, like, never ascribe malice when it can just be incompetence. Like, how do we know it's there? How do we know it's
Neither
intentional
one is
versus
very promising.
I mean, no.
What's that?
No, I don't think that's wrong. I think that if someone continues to do something and act in a different way, and this is especially true leading up to the election with Elon Musk, and especially true leading up to the election with Donald Trump, things like Springfield, Illinois, the lies that he told, the lies that Musk persistently perpetuated, and also, I just to point out, the disinformation campaign that Elon Musk partook in and pushed out on Twitter, and him personally posting this stuff. So when you take it, it's either A, they're incompetent, which is, I think, is as concerning as whether or not someone is intentionally doing it. So if he's incompetent, you can make that determination on your own. That's not good, though.
No, it's not good, but just one has some sort of like intentionality behind it. Like there's a larger.
But I think that when
people
you
lie,
take
there's
into
some-
intention, I think when you take into the intention and what the Republican Party did throughout the entirety of the 2024 election cycle, I think it's pretty crystal clear to me that I can say that they bastardized and continued to lie, even with Springfield, Illinois. They continued to
Ohio.
lie about that. Sorry, Ohio.
What happened
continued
in
to
Ohio?
lie about that.
What happened in Ohio?
They told a false story about Haitian migrants stealing and consuming people's pets.
Oh, the dogs.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So going back to the whole like the Elon and Doge and stuff. Like, well, as I said before, like when I hear news anchors saying that this is untrue, again, my skepticism, like, well, how do they know? And even though, and like you asked me about data and stuff like that, unless you look at the code, there's the final output. So what happens is that you take a look like a data lake or whatever it is. I'm not sure how COBOL structures are, and then it pipes through multiple ways, and then you have the final output, and it could break. And so very very easily, a data engineer typically classically could go in there and be like, oh, there's a pipe data leak here, and then this is not the right numbers. Like, so that sometimes I wonder, and if their source of truth is based on what this department has been reporting for over the years, it already makes me skeptical if it's even the source of truth, because it's old, it's antiquated, and
But
very,
why-
very, very, very likely the lad is probably
What is
inaccurate
more
in what they've
likely?
been publishing for a
But
very long
really
time.
quick, what is more likely that there have been over the years numerous different inspector generals that have been appointed to oversee Social Security? There have been numerous different directors. There have been people cycling through positions all over the place, that they could have pulled these numbers at any point, or that someone would have whistleblown on it. That for some reason the system is so corrupt that 12 million people pulling off of Social Security is not a concern to them. Very clearly they would have seen
I
it.
think
And Social Security has come out and clarified this. Numerous people, including former directors, have clarified this. But you have a group of people that, for some reason, bizarrely in this conversation with DOGE, continues to lie, get caught in a lie, quietly remove stuff from their website, and then go about their business promoting the same things that they don't understand. And for some reason, you're willing to say, well, I don't trust the people that oversee this for decades, and the thing that makes the most
Right.
amount of
That's
sense. Right. But it makes the
Here's the
most
reason
amount
why
of
I don't
sense.
trust it.
Right. But you can't
Right,
just
but
build
here's-
your entire. But no, you can't build your entire argument off of a lack of trust. You have to build it off of evidence, because otherwise
I'll
we're
tell
at
you
an
why there's a
impasse.
lack
If
of
I say I
trust.
don't trust Elon, and you say you don't trust Elon, we're in the same situation.
But I'm not.
I'm saying I
Sure,
don't
but I'm not
trust
gonna say
Elon. You're saying you trust him, and I'm providing evidence for why he's
No, I'm not
not
saying
to
I
be
trust him.
trusted.
No. I'm not saying I'm trusting him. Just to clarify my point, I'm not saying I necessarily trust Elon. I'm just saying I don't necessarily trust what the government has been reporting all the time. And I'm not saying I don't trust just because the sake of I don't trust. I'm saying I don't trust what the government has been reporting all this time because many times when the government has been audited, it's failed. There's been billions of dollars that they just disappeared, and they're like, "What happened to the money? I don't know. It's been unaccounted for." And
Not
this
for
has been
Social
happening
Security.
again and again. Well, I don't
Social
remember
Security
necessarily
doesn't
Social
routinely
Security,
fail
but
audits.
Pentagon.
But
Okay.
really quick, those audits
Oh, well, let
found.
me
I'm
check
gonna let
on that
Jaden
then.
have this really quick. But the audits found those billions of dollars missing, right?
I don't
This
think that's the
hypothetical
case
audit
from what I
that
remember.
may or may not. But they identified billions of dollars missing, and then you're going, oh well, they can't be trusted because they pointed it out.
I'm pretty sure for most governmental agencies, they've have failed again and again, right? Like multiple times. Like I know the Pentagon has failed like 6, 7, 8 times. Like it's like a ridiculous number, and it's like one
They
of the
failed
biggest
to
budgets outside
provide
of Social Security.
an audit.
No, they failed the audit. They had no idea what happened to the money, right? And his thing is that if this has been happening for decades, plus, by the way, Jon Stewart like roasted
I
one
don't
of
think that
Biden's.
that's
I think it was
true.
Biden's. He did. There was actually an interview between Jon Stewart
No,
and a
I'm
person who was
talking
the head
about.
of.
I'm
I don't
talking
remember
about
exactly
the.
name.
I'm talking about the.
But like pretty much, Jon Stewart
Pentagon.
went to the one of the like. There's this contentious, really contentious interview between Jon Stewart, sorry, and one of the Biden officials, and he kept on pressing. You're pretty much pushing fraud. This is fraud. The money disappeared. This is fraud. And the one of the Biden administration officials, forgot exactly her name. She basically said it was super contentious, right? And so the fact of the matter is that there has been this money that disappeared and no one knew what happened to it, and this is why that there's probably good cause for this distrust of what's been outputted. And plus on top of that, it's built on an antiquated system called which I know for a fact every single data engineer runs away from coding. There's so few people in the world who want to do that, do Cobalt. So like it's incredibly tough. So there is good reason to wonder if that data is actually indeed true, what's been outputted, and if in fact the source for news is like what the government's been putting out for so long, I'm not sure that I could trust that.
Then
right?
why didn't they publish? Why didn't they publish? They have 12 million. Why didn't they publish the Treasury transaction numbers? Why didn't DOGE? Why didn't DOGE publish the Treasury transaction numbers?
From my understanding, they did. They have a website on that.
No, they didn't.
Right.
They didn't.
They have a ledger. Look, I mean, we could take our time to go back on that, but I mean, it comes down to the fact that
I mean,
what
why
I'm
didn't they
saying is
post
my
it?
position.
Why haven't they provided any evidence? They're making this enormous claim that 12 million people are pulling off Social Security.
Sure, and they should prove it, right? I get it. They should prove it.
Mm-hmm.
My thinking is that, and they should make it actually absolutely transparent, right? And I think everybody can go behind the fact that if it was super transparent, but I think where my skepticism comes in is that if the media is reporting that it's wrong without actually seeing the source themselves, where are they getting the fact that it's wrong outside of like what the government's been saying for all this time, right? Like, so like when I hear these conflicts, I'm like, I don't know what's true, but I also I do not believe that the media would be right if that's their only source. Like, it can't be right, and especially since government has proven that it's been wrong all the time. You know what I'm saying?
You got it.
Anyways, that's where I'm at. I'll let somebody else go up.
Okay, I guess we're over.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
I want to be respectful of everybody's time. Anyway,
Okay, no
thanks,
problem.
guys. Yeah.
All right. I mean, I feel like I addressed that enough, where I was like, this is.
I was just gonna say that like all of these spending moves have been pretty well accounted for throughout congressional measures, throughout bills passed, throughout whichever organization or department is in charge of overseeing them.
Yeah, and I mean, now you have issues where there's concerns about back doors. By the way, we don't know who's in there. We do know that there's some sketchy stuff that happened with logins and Russians when it came to DOGE. We don't know where basically these kids are not vetted. They've never seen COBOL in their life. They've never seen these systems. They don't know what they're looking at, right? It's the same exact thing that we watched through the 2020 election, through COVID, through the list goes on, where they continually bastardize things they don't understand. They do not have the complexity of knowledge. And it's the same exact circumstance. They look and they say, oh, 12 million people over the age of, oh my God, that's criminal. And then they publish it. Like, look at 12 million people. And it's not. We have the numbers on how many people are being sent out checks. Didn't they try and use the fact that Treasury numbers were missing as part of their evidence?
Mm-hmm.
Because there were two parts of that. They were like, well, the Treasury payment numbers are missing. They're not there. And then they were like, oh, yeah, this has to do with the internal system for them. It doesn't have to do with the Treasury number. And then they were like causing stuff about that. They just don't understand what they're looking at. And if you don't understand, it's like this, right? It's like I watched this Twilight Zone. I think about this a lot. I watched this Twilight Zone when I was a kid, and it was in black and white. And the Twilight Zone was basically about this spider that was an alien, and this guy was talking to it, and it was like hidden. And he was like, "But don't you want me to tell people that shouldn't people know?" And he goes, "They won't understand. They'll just kill me because I look like a spider. They go after things they don't understand, right?" And so if humans don't understand something, frequently they will attack it, or they will make stuff up to make it make sense. If you ever watched Bob Lazar, I fucking hate Rogan, but I watched him on Rogan years ago, and Bob Lazar talked about like claims he worked with alien tech or whatever, but he's like he tried to dissect alien tech and figure it out, whatever. It's interesting to watch, at least. And he's like, what would happen if you gave someone in the 1800s a motorcycle? He goes, they could tinker with it. They could get it running. They could figure out how it works. And then that would be it. And then everything else, there'd be a limit. There'd be a cap. They wouldn't understand they wouldn't understand. Right. They wouldn't understand the tendencies or they wouldn't understand the tolerances in the engine. They wouldn't understand the steel. They wouldn't understand the aluminum. They wouldn't understand how it works entirely. They wouldn't understand gasoline. They wouldn't understand the refining process. They wouldn't understand really a lot of stuff. They might understand the leather, right? The foam padding, they're not going to understand that. Not yet, at least. They're not going to understand most of it, right? How this thing actually functions. They can operate it, right? It's the same thing. If there was a car that was, or if there was a plane that was flying in the 1500s, they would make up all sorts of wild shit about what it was, like witchcraft or whatever. It's because they fucking don't understand. But now if we know how a plane operates, generally speaking, we know how it works. We might not be fucking experts at it, whatever, but we know how the thing goes through the air, through jet propulsion. They can't conceptualize that at all. Can't conceptualize it at all. And in this instance, when there are things that if you're looking at you don't really understand, you start jumping to conclusions. Why? Because you're using the knowledge that you have, which is limited. The knowledge you have isn't going to give you a clear and concise picture. You're going to analyze it through the lens of this is what I know.
What else do we have?
I don't know. If anybody's debating, go ahead and hop on in the box. Would appreciate it. That would be cool. By the way, this is my main account. I also go live over on The Dude. All those are my links in my bio. We're on a backup account. If you guys want to support, you can sub. You can send the corgis over to help us hit the corgi goal and get us out on the For You page. Did anybody send a chat when I missed? No. But if you guys want to support the channel, you want to sub, would appreciate it. Dread, appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it, Dread, for the sub over there for the 28 months. Going to add that. We got 35 subs on the night. Nice. Tomorrow, by the way. And then I'm going to shut up for a second and let this person in. I don't think they're debating, but if you're debating, hop in the box. Tomorrow, we're going to do a sub from 9 to 4.
Oh, damn.
9 to 4. And I'm going to set it up so that if we keep hitting the sub goal per hour, we'll stay live till then. On Sunday, we'll do a longer live until I can't take it anymore, and it'll work the same way. So I do have to go live Monday morning, so it can't be crazy live, but we'll be rotating in and out and panel live and whatever. If it goes down, make sure you're following this account. I'm also be over on YouTube, and on YouTube, I will only be on the YouTube short side of it, because I'm trying to grow that over there so it gets out on the For You page, because RTP has had some serious success with that. So I want to spend the weekend doing that. And yeah. Jaden?
Yeah, I'll see when I can join for that one. I'm going to get a hair appointment and probably buy a new suit and tie. The BET Awards is happening on Monday or so, and I'm going to it. So that's something I'm doing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's nice. Your favorite is in the box.
I can't see. Who is it? When you say my favorite, you know, there's so many people I just absolutely abhor on this app. Oh, it's fucking
Watch this.
tacos,
Watch
isn't
this.
it?
Watch this. Watch this. Was it? Was it? Did you say talk? Did you look? Did
I
you
saw
look?
people commenting the name. I can't
Oh,
see.
damn.
I'm not a mod on this one, but
I was gonna say boxed wine.
yeah,
That would have gave it
if
away.
that answers it.
I mean, who's the other person? What's her name?
Right, can you
Toby
give
or
me
whatever.
like 2 minutes? I gotta put some chapstick on.
Oh God.
Okay.
Do you need to pause for
Anyway,
that?
we're up to 35 subs. If you guys want to support, would appreciate it. We've been slaying it. Subs have been helping us out quite a bit, and also getting us out on the For You page. If you guys want to sub on here, right now it's the more expensive sub. Tonight I'll put in the less expensive sub. And you guys, if you want to support on the more expensive one, you can do that, or the lesser one. But I had to make it even for YouTube and Twitch, and we can hopefully get it on those people. Plus, this is just a backup to the backup. So, should I do? Is this going to be the permanent one though? Should I lower the? Is this going to be the permanent one?
What? Live?
This might be the one we go permanently on. And I was going to post some video clips over here. By the way, we're waiting for it really quick because I want to get through this because there's a lot to update you guys
No,
on.
I'm here. I'm back.
Oh,
Sorry.
I need to find people that want to clip videos as they're watching. If you guys do this, it would really, really help me. But YouTube basically allows you to just select and clip. And I have to figure out how, because I think I can do it so that everybody can do it. But if you want to do that, please, 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 because I'm trying to, it's like for me, really quick, for me to pull a 30-second clip, or sorry, not 30, but a 60-second to 3-minute clip, I either have to click this button here and hope that it all fit in there, or I have to go back. I have to write it down and go back, and then I have to download the whole fucking live. And so it's like a lot of work. So if you're like watching it and there's a clip that you want or a clip that you like, you can clip it on YouTube, and it's just like a little like select between the markers thing, and then that way I can download that, and it makes it way easier for me. I got to go through and look how to do it, but if you guys want to do that, if you're just watching the show and like in time and like, oh, that's a good clip, we can use that, please, because then I can take those and put them on TikTok, I can put them on YouTube Shorts, get paid for them, get interaction, and it doesn't take me a shit ton of time to go back through it. And I think it's just literally clicking 2 markers for you guys. So if someone wants to help do it, please. All right, tacos.
Oh, nice. Okay. So when it comes to your background, both is true. For one, the issue with Elon and Trump is that if Elon is a liar, Doge is a liar. No, that's not true. Elon is mad that Trump is used him to defund a lot of financial organizations. When it came to the new bill, it affected his I can't remember the name of it, but I can look it up. But his new deal that he was doing. So Elon was being defunded, and he didn't like that.
Oh, don't leave me.
So yeah.
I'd say it has something to do with the $4.5 trillion that it adds to the debt.
No.
Yeah, that's what he's railing against. Same with
No.
several Republicans who are complaining about that, like Rand Paul, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Ted Cruz.
I
It's
have
just a
not
bad
seen proof
bill.
of that. The only proof that I've seen is that Elon's new project is being defunded, and so now that he's going to separate himself and talk a lot of shit about Trump. So
I don't know
that
what
it is
project
what
you're
it
talking
is.
about. It's not funded through that. They did revoke an EV mandate through that, but other than that, he's not receiving any additional
But you're
funds
not
from
even
this.
you're not showing any proof that like what
You're
you're
not
talking
showing me
about.
any proof. You just made a claim that it
Yeah,
cuts funding to him.
I can go back. I can go and pause, but I can
Please
show
do.
something.
What is
Okay.
going on back there?
Where? In my background?
Yeah,
What do you hear?
something yelling. I don't know.
Or the TV?
Okay. Anyways, while we wait, got a busy week up ahead. I'm going to be going to the BET Awards on Monday, so I'll probably be out for then. That goth chick that rubs my feet is having a birthday party on the 12th, so what is that, a Thursday? Might be off for that, but Tuesday, Wednesday should be good, and same with Friday and the weekends mostly. But yeah, I'm going to get a hair appointment. I'm going to buy a shirt and tie. Might meet Kevin Hart, who knows? I worked on his show, you know. Anyways, if you guys would like to support the show, go ahead and tap that screen. Get us up to 100K. Share the live, please. Okay. Continue to gift. Let's get us up to our gift goal. We have 4 out of 20 corgis there. 420. Keep sending those corgis there. And gift the co-host, please. The co-host. There's also a Venmo Cash App in my bio. So there's that. Drake and Kendrick are nominated during this show here. So that's going to be interesting.
You're going to the BET Awards?
Sure am.
Are you going to go live?
I'll take pictures. I don't really plan on going live.
That is so awesome. I love
Thanks.
that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so proud of you.
I appreciate it.
So I had to look it up, and I apologize, but like the SpaceX, it's a SpaceX project that Elon's doing that Trump is initially going to take funds from.
It wasn't in the bill.
That's why this. Okay, but that was Elon's statement.
Right, that's a response. That's not what was in the initial big beautiful bill.
Okay, can I ask you a question, Jaden?
I will not date you, Tacos.
Oh, okay, well, that's a first.
No, it's not.
But do you know what the big beautiful bill is?
Of course I do.
Can you tell me?
Yes. It extends tax cuts. Well, first of all, it's a House resolution that extends tax cuts for another 3 years at the current rate, for billionaires another 10 years or so. It lowers the corporate tax and guts some $800 billion out of Medicare and Medicaid. Also puts on work requirements for things like SNAP and others. Yes.
Not true. No.
All these things are true.
No.
Cuts 625 to 880 billion from Medicaid over the last 10 years.
No,
For SNAP, it cuts 267 to what are you saying?
For who?
I'm trying to read it to you.
Okay.
I'm having to pull up the numbers right now, but everything I've given you up to this point is off the top of my head. Damn, this thing is still going. Here we go. 267 to 280 billion from SNAP over 10 years. States must cover 5% of benefit costs starting from 0% starting in 2028 and 75% of administrative costs from 50%. It expands work requirements of able-bodied adults without dependents must work up to the age of 64 from 54, and parents are only exempt if caring children are under 7 from 18. So it raises certain requirements, it lowers certain requirements. All in around does not benefit the American middle class.
The middle class? No, it doesn't.
Also, the no tax on tips isn't applicable for all workers. It applies to about 2.4.
Are you fucking with me right now?
I never. No tax on tips does not apply.
It's time to play the game. All right, I put in the wrong, really quick, I put in the wrong corgi thing up there. I didn't realize I put in that one. I appreciate you guys that have subbed to it. I'll kick Tacos if we hit the sub goal, or if we hit the gift goal.
That's not fair.
Is it? Is it not?
No.
I think it's fair. Well, I put the wrong Jaden. I put the wrong corgi in, so it would be. I put the wrong corgi in, so I think it would be.
Yeah.
I think it.
It's your show. I won't.
Okay.
Won't protest.
I feel like it's fair. It's not the regular corgi.
No tax on tips. How is
I feel
that?
like it's fair.
How's that a negative to the economy?
Because it doesn't apply to all people.
How?
It applies to about 2.5% of the overall workforce.
Okay, so the other. Okay, what about no tax on overtime?
I don't even really think that's in there.
Okay, first of all, yeah, because a lot of people in the workforce don't make tips.
First.
We're literally just talking
Well, they
about
don't
people that
report
make
cash
tips.
tips. So it's irrelevant.
Yeah, that's the point.
Okay, hence why I
So,
say it would
so
not
the,
apply for everyone. Nor
okay,
would
I'm gonna
everyone
say,
qualify
okay,
under the no tax on
yeah, it
overtime.
doesn't apply to everybody because, okay, let's say, okay,
Okay, it
I'm gonna
applies
give you an
to
example.
less than
I don't know why
half,
you're
less than a
interrupting me.
tenth.
Hold on a second.
I don't give a shit. It would apply to
Okay,
less than
okay,
10% of the overall workforce.
all right, yeah, but that doesn't matter. That's a positive thing.
It's
Let's
really
say that
not.
I'm a waitress and my man works overtime, right? So my man
No,
gets
because it's
no
gutting
taxation
$1.5
on
trillion
overtime.
out of the Social Security fund.
Okay, let's talk about Social Security.
Sure.
Oh shit!
You
Sorry, I
think
forgot to turn.
that the no tax on tip bill takes away from your Social Security? How so?
It takes funds out of the Social Security fund. Over $1.5 trillion over the next 10 years.
Show me that.
What do you want me to show you?
That was your claim. Just show me where it
What
says that
exactly
in
do
the
you
bill.
want me to show? It wouldn't say
I
that.
literally just
That's
said
the
that. But
outcome. Those
I
words
literally
don't
just said that.
exist. The math adds
Those
up
words
to
don't
that.
exist. You're just fucking saying shit.
Because no
You're
FICA
just fucking
deduction.
talking shit.
It
I'm
wouldn't be on
being
it, Mike.
genuine. You are making a claim, and
It
I said,
wouldn't
okay, show
say
it to
that
me.
in the bill. I couldn't show you that directly.
see
That's
what
what the
you-
math
Okay,
would
right,
account
because it
to.
doesn't say that in the bill, right?
Why would it say that?
Why would you say that?
Because the math adds up to that. The total amount that would apply for overtime and tax on tips would sum out to about $1.5
It
trillion
doesn't.
for
But
Social
it
Security.
doesn't, though. It
Okay, then
doesn't.
what are you going off of?
No, it doesn't.
What are you going off of
It
then?
has nothing to do with somebody's social security that they
What are
have
you going
already
off of?
equated through the years that they've worked. It has nothing to do with that. You have to
You're
show me the
just saying
proof.
things at this
That
point.
is your claim. No, that's your claim that a working man or woman has paid that much into taxes, and because of this bill, that it takes away from their social security, which is not true.
Based on what?
That was your claim.
Okay.
I am so confused. You have to prove your own claim.
You said that I'm wrong. Based on what? I have proven my claim based on the Congressional Budget Office's estimation over how much it would reduce from the Social Security Fund.
No, that's not true. No.
Then what the fuck are you
Okay,
going off of?
because okay, you're talking about Trump's no tax on overtime, no tax on tips. That has nothing to do with Social Security.
I'm telling you how.
It doesn't take away from people that have an
It's
existing
revenue
Social
that is
Security.
that's tax revenue that is
You would
generated
have to
for the
prove.
so stop
You would
interrupting me,
have to
please.
prove.
That
Oh,
that is
now you
tax
want to
revenue that is generated for the purposes of subsidizing Social Security over a 10-year span.
Okay, no.
I lowered it to
It
14,
does not
Yes.
take
by the
away
way,
from people
instead
that
of
have an
20. It was on
existing
20.
Social Security.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just confused why Javon is not, or
Who?
Aiden. I'm
You
sorry.
have lusted for me too long to not fucking get my name correct.
Not lusted.
That's the right
crazy.
At
term.
this point, could you imagine? At this point, it's like saying someone's name you're dating wrong, all right? It's about the equivalent. You've known us for years.
I know. At this point, you
Put the
have
box in the bag.
you have made a claim. You have made a claim that you can't back up. We are
I already
talking
have.
about
I already
the
have.
strict
You just
bill.
don't understand it.
We are talking about
Again, if we hit the coin goal on TikTok, Tacos is out. If not, it is what it is. Go ahead, Tacos. Sorry, I'll be honest, I was eating. What did I miss? What's your debate, Tacos? What's your argument?
Tom, you made a video about this a few days ago, did you not? About how Social Security's fund is depleted.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to remove.
Can you explain this to
Me?
her better, please?
Right. Yeah. So
Yeah,
removal
please.
of tax on overtime will cut $1 trillion over the course of the next 10 years from Social Security. There's
How
about
so?
$1.5 trillion over the next 10 years is going to come from overtime taxes. Approximately 72% of it comes to 72 or 77%. I think it's 72. It comes from, or it goes directly to Social Security. So they're going to cut $1 trillion
I have
worth of
not, I
Social
haven't watched your
Security.
videos, but can you show that here? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Why that would cut
Okay.
into Social Security.
Right, because they use those taxes and pay into Social Security with it. That's where they go.
Is that in the bill?
No, it's like a
Okay,
shadow
then
thing. Like
what?
if you're saying, but hold on. This is a consequence of the bill. So if you get rid of tax on
If it's
overtime,
not
you're
in the bill,
removing
how is that a
one point
consequence of the bill?
because the bill is getting rid of tax on overtime, which will get rid of $1.5 trillion in taxes. It'll get rid of $1.3 to $1.5 trillion in taxes for the federal government, of which 72% of that
Okay,
goes 72% of that goes to Social Security. So approximately $1 trillion, somewhere in there.
okay, I'm gonna be really humble right now. Can you show me how that works, please?
Okay.
Because I have no idea.
Okay. Do you want me to write it out or you want me to try and explain it again?
No,
Use
just
crayon,
right
maybe.
here on the live. Yeah. No, okay, shut up, Jaden.
Rude.
That's not what I meant.
All right. Let me. I don't know where my notepad is, but I'll use this. Okay, so you have 1.5 T. You have 1.5 trillion. Okay, 1.5 trillion, and that's the tax. So the government is saying that's from
Okay. Before you go any further,
overtime.
relate this to
So
the
hold on.
bill.
I
Okay.
will 1.3 trillion to 1.5 trillion in overtime taxes that will be cut by this bill. Meaning, if there's no tax on overtime, if they extend it to W-2 employees, okay, it'll be 1.3 to 1.5. If they don't extend it to W-2 employees, it'll be about 850 billion, which it
Now
sounds like
you're
they're going to
talking
extend it
about.
to W-2 employees. So it will cut 1.3 to 1.5 trillion if it's extended to everyone in America. If it is
That's
only
not true.
extended to what part of that's not true?
The fact that they are going to cut finances from our W-2, or not our W-2. I'm sorry.
What? Only 10 more corgis. Wait, what's not true?
Christ.
What's not true? What's not true?
Hold on, I'm looking through my papers right now.
Angel,
Your hard
appreciate it.
lemonade
Thank
receipts?
you. Aisha, appreciate it.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you.
God.
By the way, it does help us. If you guys want nothing else to get rid of tacos, it does in fact help us get out on the For You page so we can get less tacos type of people over here. Why do I have a serious conversation with you know nothing? I'm gonna be real. As bad as I think tacos is, she's at least. I think she's the most receptive person on the right. I mean, Jaden, can you think of
Okay, well,
anybody
I'm
that's
not on the
more
right.
receptive?
I'm not on the right.
Yeah, Ty.
So
Okay.
He converted.
Okay, fair. For now. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to just explain this. Okay, so right now, the way that the bill is set up, $850 billion will be being cut in what the government brings in from overtime tax. 72% of that goes to Social Security. So it's that payroll tax goes right to Social Security, right? There's also deductions that are given for other employees that aren't W-2, okay? Which by the way, this does not extend to W-2 employees. If it extends to W-2 employees, you're talking about 1.3 to 1.5 trillion dollars in overtime taxes done. They will not be able to collect tax on 1.3 to 1.5 trillion dollars. Okay? So that's what the bill does, is it gets rid of tax on overtime. So this would be the tax that we collect on overtime. 72% of which goes to Social Security. Which means it would be right around $1 trillion. I haven't done the exact math. I could do it for you if you want, but it'd be right around $1 trillion. Trillion and some change even.
So I went back to our papers. It hasn't happened yet, but the tax on overtime has not affected the retirement on neither me or my husband. I don't.
Because it's not in effect yet. What?
Okay,
it's
then
not
why
going to
don't we
affect
have
you
this
or your
conversation?
husband. It's not. The problem is that it's pulling money out of it. It's making a solvent fund insolvent. Meaning that
I
they are
don't like.
defunding
You
$1
brought up a
trillion
paper,
from Social Security. That $1 trillion over the next 10 years is going to go into a general fund for Social Security.
but that's not true.
That is true.
Because we still have our Social Security intact, which has been the same, right?
Okay, you're not understanding. I'm going to stop you right there.
This
okay?
hasn't passed
You're
yet.
not understanding. Okay,
Okay,
let's
then
just
why
say,
are
for
we
instance,
talking about this then?
I
That's
don't
why I
know
went on
what
pause for it,
fucking
because
planet
Let-
you're
let-
getting
look up
on
our
right now. It
paperwork
doesn't
that we
exist.
are not affected
The
by.
bill hasn't passed yet. You don't know
Yes, it
that
has.
yet.
The tax
No,
on
it
tips and the
hasn't.
tax on
No,
overtime.
no. That is all a part of one singular bill.
okay,
Yes, I know
let's
this,
assume
but it
for a
hasn't
second
passed.
that Social Security
No,
has
go
a
ahead.
fund of $10 trillion, okay? And that fund is people pull out of on a yearly and monthly basis, okay? We have a fund, a major fund. And if you qualify,
Right.
you send
Yes.
off to Social Security and you pull money out of it, okay? It requires that Social Security stay solvent for people to continue to pull out of it. The Republicans have been trying to
Right.
defund it, okay? So if we lose $1 trillion
No,
that would
that's
be
not
going...
true. Hold on a
Silence.
second.
That is
No, you're
true.
going.
That is true. That is
How am I
true, but we
being
can argue about that in a
silenced?
second. Hold on, we can argue about that in a second. $10
Okay.
trillion is the fund, okay? The Republicans, if this measure goes in, will remove around $1 trillion worth of taxes that would go into that fund. So instead of $10 trillion, it would be, or instead of $10 trillion, it would be 9.
That's not true. Okay, from what the bill
Can
is
you offer
stating,
any
and
kind of rebuttal besides saying that's
yes,
not
I
true?
am trying to.
Oh, sorry, instead
Shut
of it
up.
being $10 million, instead of it being
So
$11 million, it would be 10. It would remain the same, meaning there would be less money in 20, 30 years from
yes,
now.
less money out of being coming after our paychecks is what he's trying to do. Now, when it comes
Then
to
that
Social
would mean that
Security,
by the time that you retire, tacos, I don't know, you might be older, you won't be, there won't be as
no,
much
he's
money in
not
Social
talking about.
Security.
Okay, pause. Can I respond, please? Let's be calm.
Sure.
Okay. By the
I'm
time that I
calm.
retire, yes. Okay, yeah. Okay. So I'm actually against Social Security, so it doesn't matter to me.
What the fuck?
Now what is, like, with no tax on tips and no tax on overtime?
I don't even know that I
is
want to
an actual
entertain
cost.
this after hearing that.
Why would
I
you
mean,
be
what do
mad
you
that I'm against
mean?
Social Security?
Why would you be against Social Security? Social Security is the reason that we don't
all the
have
years,
insane levels
that
of poverty in the United
okay,
States.
hold on a second. I'm gonna be calm.
Now.
All the years that oh no.
I don't want to
Did
be
you
calm.
just say no?
I said now. I don't want to be calm.
All the years that me and you have worked in our lifetime, and we have paid the government all this money within our paychecks to Social Security, and we get it back, what, at like fucking between 65 and 70 years old. He's not stopping Social Security for the people that have
It's not just
paid in.
people that are
The
Oh
elderly.
fact that,
It's
my
not just
God.
it's not just
why
people
are
that are
we
elderly that can.
interrupting
It's
me?
not just
Why are we
people that are. It's
interrupting
not
me?
just people
Why are we
because it's
interrupting
not just
me?
people.
Because you're
Because
wrong.
it's not just people. You're wrong. It's not just people that are
I'm
elderly.
not
It's not just
wrong.
people that are
You're
elderly.
not even
It's not just
listening,
people that are elderly.
Tommy.
I am listening to you.
I
I
didn't
am
say it
listening to
was
you. If you want to
elderly.
say,
I
if
didn't
you want
say
to say, how
elderly.
dare, you said from
I
65 to 70.
didn't
But
say
even if you wanted
elderly.
to say that, okay, it is crazy to me that the one group of
Crazy
people in
that
this
you
country
want
that
to
has
pay
Oh
kept the
into
my
the
retirement
government,
God.
let the
age
government control your
so
money.
high, it has kept listen, it has kept the one group of people in this country that have kept the retirement age high and vied for it at every
Who?
opportunity is the
Who?
Republicans. In fact, they
How
want to
has
do it.
Social
They want
Security
to raise the
benefited
retirement
anybody?
age. So you're saying like, wow, I can't
No,
pull the
I'm
money
asking you
out.
about Social
Hold on, I'm
Security.
talking. So
How
you're
has
like,
it
wow, I
benefited?
can't pull. I am. You're like, wow, I can't pull the money out until I'm 65, and the Republicans made sure of that, and they're trying to raise it again. By the way. We pay into Social Security not just as a
Yeah, that's
protection for older.
crazy.
What do you want? You want a bunch of hold on. You want a bunch of homeless elderly people and people that are on disability and
No,
Social Security? We
nobody
have
said that
this
they were
system
going
set
to
up for a
stop.
while. We pay into it our whole lives so we can take out of it. It is a thing that we
Nobody said.
pay into, and you can opt out of it. By the way, you can
Nobody
opt out
said
of
that
it.
Social Security wasn't being stopped from me given to people that paid into it.
Why don't you opt out of Social Security then?
You should. Okay, first of all,
You
Then
do
do
it.
it. Why are you upset about it then? Let other people make that decision if they want to opt out of Social Security.
you want. Okay, so now you guys want the government to handle your money and take a price out of it for when you retire, you don't even get the benefits of what you reaped, right?
I will get the benefit in that I'm not
No, you won't.
impoverished and living
No,
homeless.
you won't. No, you
What does
won't.
that mean?
It's
Yes,
fucking
that is what
ironic
Social
because your
Security
party is
You
does.
collapsing
literally think, okay,
401ks
so
too.
you literally want to like give your money to the government every paycheck, everything that you do,
I
and
know
then
you're not
expect them to
about.
pay that back to you.
Yeah, they do.
And
Jules,
this is
appreciate the
why that we
$5. Thank you.
think
I'll read it
that,
in a second. Listen, and you trust Trump,
and
correct?
why not?
And
Why
you
not?
because he's crashed the fucking stock market twice. You trust
No,
him
he
with your
hasn't.
money despite the
No,
fact you
he
trust him with
hasn't.
your
That's
money
not
despite the
true.
fact that he crashed the stock market twice. Yes, it is.
That's not true.
That is true.
The stock market was very high when he was
You
in
might not
office.
like it, but it is true.
That's
Do you
fine.
hear that?
But why
It's
are
your
we
ride.
changing?
Nutcracker, appreciate it. Thank you. Nutcracker, go away, Karen. You aren't smart enough for this topic. I don't know what to tell her at this point anymore. Nutcracker, appreciate it. Thank you for the 30. I got the feeling that she might have been on the juice, to be honest with you.
I think so. Yep. It is Friday. Isn't it?
Nutcracker, it is Friday. She always goes up on. I mean, if you guys want to know when Tacos is drunk, it's every day of the week. Nutcracker, appreciate it. Thank you. Can we get some dubs and drumsticks in the chat for Nutcracker? If you guys want to support over on TikTok, help us grow over here, go ahead and sub, hit the like as well. Tomorrow we're going to be having a subathon on this account. Make sure you're following my main one because I'm not sure where we're going to be. It's going to be a panel live, and this live may come down. Who knows? So I'll probably reset a couple of times during the day, if at all possible, or I'm hoping it doesn't come down because I'm going to be live for 7 hours, so who knows. Just try and moderate everyone to make sure they're all cool, but we'll be live at 9 a.m. Pacific tomorrow with a subathon. But yeah, if you guys want to support, would appreciate it. Help get it out to people. The other account's down to the 12th, so what do you do?
That's right.
And then after that, I should have a thing. Traditional American is here. We have a,
Oh,
is it
lovely.
100 day? We have a 100 day.
Yes.
What day are we on? Did anybody ever actually care
Gotta
enough to
be
count?
like 15. I don't know.
I-
It feels like it's been 2 weeks or so. Does that sound right?
Yeah, it's been about that.
Mm-hmm.
I won't be taking any more tips to have him out of here for a minute because maybe he'll learn something. So like a month, like 90 days from now, he comes back and then we're like, okay, didn't learn anything. Bye. Nutcracker, appreciate it. Thank you. What's 90 days from now?
I don't know.
You get a
It's
90-day
August?
timeout. You're on probation. What's 90 days? I can just Google it. What day is 90 days from today? Thursday, September 4th.
Oh. That's
All
only
right, I'm gonna
8
write
days
that
before
down.
my favorite holiday.
When you leave out cookies for George Bush?
7. Yeah. You know the drill.
All right, I'm going to write it down here. September 4th. I will make one exception. I will make one exception if he comes back to admit he's wrong.
That's fair.
Because by then, it's probably going to be a fucking disaster anyways. We got Blue Robin.
Okay, after this, I want to run a thought experiment by you. Just a yap. Hello?
Hello.
Blue?
How old are you?
51.
I can't hear him.
What?
51.
You
51.
can hear him? I can't hear him.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I can barely. You can't hear?
Yeah.
Hold on.
No,
Blue Robin, I'm going to mute you really quick, and then I'm going to send you a request to unmute. Just press the button to unmute. It's a request right there.
I'm back. I'm here.
How do you guys hear him?
Okay. Can you
hear
hear
me?
Jaden?
Yep.
I can't hear him.
I can
That's
hear.
weird.
Oh, here.
Well, you
Jaden,
talk to him, I
drop
guess.
out and hop back in.
Ah, all right.
Here, drop out, come back in. Could be a live
Hello?
issue.
Am I
All
okay?
right, what's going on? What's going on? What's your take?
51. Blue Robin. And I was trying to come up here early with a person who was up here
Hello?
talking about Social Security.
Oh,
What
yeah, go
the-
for it. Oh, really? I got to read that really quick. Sorry. Hold on. I forgot to read this really quick.
I can't hear them.
You can't hear him?
No, that's weird. It's a glitch.
Jules, appreciate it. Thank you for the 5. I'm 63, so I will be golden. She's screwed, and so will our kids. Yeah, I'm glad I could help out the same boomers that voted against Social Security. Not you, Jules. I'm just saying
It's a
in general.
It's a woman? I can't hear her.
All right, I can hear, so, and everybody over here can
Alright.
hear, so I guess we'll just,
Yeah, have at it.
Hello.
yeah, go ahead. What's your take?
Yes, I was here earlier. I was listening earlier, and the person that was talking about Social Security, I wanted to come up here, and I was like, "What are you talking about? We pay into Social Security. Why would you, saying that it's not you? If you don't care for your fair share, they should give it to me because I worked all my life for my money." Who is that?
Yeah.
Who's that in the comments?
What?
Z. Who is Z? That person right there. I'm sorry. Somebody's. Who is that? Anyway. Yeah. So
What's happening?
that was weird. Sorry.
Z. No, I saw it, but
I'm
Z,
gonna-
you want to explain?
What are you talking about?
Did that person? Did they know you? Is your
I
name
don't
Lisa?
know. No.
Okay, never mind. Oh, never mind. Okay, that's what it shows as your new username. I don't. It shows up as Lisa, so I don't. It's
Oh, it
your
does?
handle. Never mind. Go ahead. I don't know.
Well, anyway.
I don't know why they said that. That caused chaos and confusion. I don't know.
What is going on?
Sorry. Go ahead. So
Anyway.
he said a name in the chat, and she was like freaking out. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll check. I was like, I don't. What do they know? Does he know her? Like they just ID
Yeah, I'm
someone
like,
on my
I
fucking
don't
live by their
know.
voice or something? And then I was like, no,
Right.
it's the username. It just
Well,
it
on
shows
my-
up as the display name, and then on your account is the username, and that's what they typed out. They couldn't see, so I was
Oh, okay, gotcha.
very yeah.
Because I was like, what?
This has never happened before, by the way.
That's
Robin.
never
You can
happened
hear the guest
before.
and I can't.
Exactly. I've never seen that before. Okay, now someone else is writing that too. I'm like, because my account is private. But I guess on there, what do? That's weird.
Yeah. So Anyway.
Anyway, I ain't worried about it. Yes. So I was looking at this and I was like, like, what is she talking about? Because Social Security is important, and that's that's like what people pay into. Why would somebody just vote against your own interests? That was just weird. I mean, there's some people out here that's crazy. So I see your prompt here about if Elon is a liar, Doge is a lie too. Well, yeah, we all know that, but there's some people that are not in this cult. They think that they know. Have you been getting people up here that are kind of like confused on who Elon is?
I don't know. Not usually. Not usually. Oh, there's Jaden. Sorry.
Wait,
we are looking for opposition though.
Oh, there
I
we
think
go.
I have. I
you're
think
looking
I
for
have a debate.
oppositions? Okay.
Yeah.
Now I can hear.
No, I
Did I
appreciate
miss
you coming in.
anything?
No, I think we're good. I think we got.
Oh. Do we have anybody? Heaven.
Yeah.
Heaven.
Sorry, I'm
in
scrolling.
Hey.
Just
Trying
wanted
to
to ask
find
a
a-
single Trump supporter if they knew what a tariff was.
Nope.
I figured.
That's when we charge other countries.
I
They
apparently-
pay the tariff.
No, I know what a tariff is. I wanted to know if a Trump supporter knew what a tariff was.
You know the answer to that.
They
No.
Of course. So, I mean, if y'all want to kick me, I get it if you want to debate, but I would love to debate as well because what the fuck?
Oh, you want to join our
It's all
team?
right.
Let's do it.
Sorry, boys only. I'm kidding.
It's all right. I appreciate you coming in. We're gonna see if we can grab a debate.
Hell yeah.
Make sure she sounded a little trash. Make sure you guys are following this account right here. If you guys don't mind. Oh man, hold up.
Anybody else? Because I want to ramble for a second.
No, go for it. I'm actually looking to. I'm trying to find a part for my girlfriend's car.
I was
Go
having
ahead.
a side conversation with that guy who said he was in tech or coding or whatever it was, and I want to like better understand the ethics behind robotics. Like, would it be racist if somebody had like a robot that had like black skin, and it worked as a servant? And would that technically count as slavery because they're not a person?
I
Is the
don't know, but
depiction
it
of them
doesn't
being
feel
black-
right.
Right, I had to think about that. And then like I got into this, like I was asking my friend, like, could a robot technically be SA'd? Because it is artificial intelligence. And if we extend further like protections to robots, would that mean that people can't like use their phone to get off? Because that's AI too. And so
I don't
like,
know, but I don't like it.
It got me to think, what if there's like a debate moving forward about like robot civil rights and robot sex work protections and shit? And, like, I really, it's this part of my mind that makes me not want to see the future and not want to have these conversations.
Yeah. I mean, hear me out here. So I'm going to be real. I actually think this is a great conversation for us to have in general. Because have you seen, someone brought this, and I'm going to be real with you. If you guys have, I'm only going to talk about this for about a minute. And I'm only offering you the opportunity because it was a mind fuck to me. And I don't want to put that on someone themselves. It does have to do with P3DOs. So if you don't want to hear it, that's fine. We'll literally not reference it again. I understand if you don't. I'm not sure I wanted to hear this piece of information, but I thought it would bring it up in this relative context. So I will wave my hands like this when you guys can listen it if you don't want to hear it. I was on a video and someone brought up, I was in a video and someone, or like reading comments on a video about those really realistic kids, the realistic babies, right? And someone was like, anybody can buy these. There's no regulations to stop pedophiles. And I was like, so
Right.
very clearly that should be a thing. We should have some regulations on this. Because it fucked with me. I was like, oh shit, that's a thing that could be happening, that probably is, and we're not doing anything to deal with it. There's also the problem of AI and all of that stuff, and so I think that's like a really real thing that we should have here. A real conversation about AI going forward. I think, like, I'm going to be honest, the way I feel about America and the world right now is we live in the worst timeline. Like, it's like basically every day is because everything in America is a fucking casino now. It's like everything's a casino. It's fucking crazy. It's like, oh yeah, crypto and fucking money making and like drop shipping and all this. It's just a fucking casino. Everything's a casino. And everybody likes to play that life that way. And I don't like to live fucking life like it's a fucking casino. Dennis, appreciate it for the $2. Thank you. We're like in the worst timeline. Like gambling on elections? The fuck? Check out the TV show Humans. It's a BBC show. It's about AI and robots' rights. Amazing show. So someone's already thought of it. Dennis, appreciate the Venmo. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Venmo. There's a Venmo Cash App in the bio if you guys want to support, but I think that
it
that's
just raises
a concern.
So many ethical questions. Like, would robots apply to worker rights? And is there a certain level of scrutiny that should be received over that? Do robots deserve breaks? Overtime pay? Pay at all? Don't know. Don't know. I don't want to think about it. Except I already have. Anyways, future kind of scares me. Now, time travel. Okay. That's another subject. Anybody got a year you transport to?
A year I'd want to transport to?
Yeah.
Not this
time
one.
Travel. I feel like 2011 was a solid year. Not too racist. Obama's president. I'll go back to 2011. Pumped Up Kicks is on the radio. Good year. 99. Everybody's saying 99. 2011 and 2015. Pretty good years for me. I don't know.
I think I would like to go back to like the early 2010s. Go to more concerts.
Yeah. That's valid.
I feel like that was peak music, you know?
Mm-hmm. If you could steal an idea from the past, what would it be?
Huh?
Like, if you could steal it, like, with current knowledge that you have about how something was invented, and then you went back in time and invented that shit, what would it be? The Bible. Maybe. I honestly, I think I'd probably, like, just... Yeah, there's a movie about this, actually. I just take my knowledge of, like, the #1 best-selling song, or best, hit songs. Best-selling songs. The hit songs, I'd probably just, like, re-record them or rewrite them. They'd sound awful, but I'd do it first. I'd have every song ever recorded in my clutches. I could have a Beatles album one week, then Rolling Stones, then Madonna, then Michael Jackson. Not a bad idea. A shake
I was
weight.
thinking I'm gonna get a record player. Sorry, I think my...
No problem. Do you
I
think?
reach out to one of my really good friends, and I don't know if they changed their number or something. I'm like, what the fuck? Because they've had that number literally forever. So, it's weird.
Do shake weights actually, I don't know, build muscle? Do they have to make it look like you're jerking off a guy? I feel like there's a more convenient way to work your biceps. It has to be. Feels like that was made on a dare.
All right. Let's see here. All right. Do we have any debates? Anybody that wants to hop in? Bones is in here. Bones ain't gonna join. Bones ain't gonna join.
Fun. It's not a workout. It's a lifestyle.
We need AI help. By the way, there's like a bunch of new like political content creation that's going on. That's all AI on TikTok. All AI on TikTok. No, and I see it. And Tizzy actually stitched a video, and I was like, dude, this is AI. Like, I don't know. Nobody's picking up on it either. I sat there and watched the video. I was like, yeah, that's AI. It disappeared. That showed up out of nowhere. It's gonna be impossible to tell. It was really difficult. It just looks like a filter. Really difficult.
I think I've sort of trained my eyes to tell now. They don't move like.
But we're not going to be able to tell. We're not going to be able to tell in
point.
A year or two from now.
Right.
Gigi's right. Sounds like it's going to be over. We're not going to be able to tell. I mean, if you think about it, I'm going to be able to make AI videos of myself.
Yeah. Then you can sit back.
Sit back and just. This is what I think. I just don't have to say it. All right, Bones, what's up?
You there?
Hey, Tommy, Jade.
Hey, what's going on there?
My little dog has a collapsing trachea, so poor little puppy.
Poor thing.
But my thing on this bill in Social Security, I just heard that discussion, and I was actually driving back in from Alabama, but you do understand that Social Security taxes are still being collected on overtime and tips, so that money is still going into the Social Security fund.
It's the amount that's cut that would affect it by about $1.5 trillion to the point of 2034.
Yeah, but when you say cut, it's not Social Security is not cut.
It's the amount that pays into it, which means it's reduced by about $1.5 trillion.
When again, the 7.65% that is collected on gross earnings, is still going to be collected. It's not gonna. They don't get if they make overtime, that overtime that they earn is still. It's not going to pay the federal taxes, but it will still pay the 7.65 to Social Security and Medicaid.
Where are you getting these numbers from exactly?
The 7.65?
Yeah, just like where this assessment comes from.
Well, all you have to do is Google what happens in the bill, and it shows that Social Security, the 7.65 is still being collected. So those people are not going to pay the taxes on the tips or the federal taxes on the tips or the overtime, but the 7.65 for Social Security and Medicaid are still being collected.
Right here, the Old Age and Survivors Insurance OASI Trust Fund, which pays Social Security benefits, is primarily funded by 12.4% payroll tax, 6.2% from employees, 6.2% from employers, on wages to cap $168,000 in 2024 just annually. It collected $1.2 trillion in 2024 and is projected to be depleted by 2035 without reform.
I agree with that, but that has nothing to do with the big beautiful bill. That has everything to do.
That is part of it.
No, it has everything to do with the fact that there's not enough money in that fund to pay out people's retirement.
That's what I've said.
But it's not
what needs to happen is lifting the cap on taxable income.
I
to at
agree
least
with that.
$250,000, right? Which the bill doesn't do. So effectively, it has a deadline, meaning that its funds will be depleted within the next decade and a half.
Right, but it'll be depleted whether this big beautiful bill gets passed or not, unless there's a change to it.
It doesn't mitigate that depletion; it only speeds it up.
It doesn't have any impact on that
Why
because
were you
those
so
people.
sure? I'm reading from the Congressional Budget Office's report on this. It has drastic reductions towards the Social Security Trust Fund.
The only way it could pull money out of that, Jaden, is if those people were not paying their Social Security amount, and they're still paying, but it's
Okay.
still going to run out unless we change it. I agree with that. Two
Okay,
totally
those
different.
changes don't, or those changes aren't there. And like I said, this only speeds up that depletion. Secondly, as according to the deficit increase, I don't see how that doesn't apply an indirect strain, at least towards Social Security.
Well,
Ooh.
I know this dog is poor baby. Again, what's happening with Social Security has been a problem for the last 15 years. I mean, it's not anything new. That's why the other thing they've changed recently is they've changed the full retirement age. They keep pushing it back. Okay.
They keep raising it.
Right. To 67. The Iman was 67 in 4 months. Now it's 67 in 8 months, and it's going to continue to grow that way. But it doesn't stop someone from pulling out their money early.
I wasn't
at age
talking live.
62.
I was making a call.
They shouldn't have to, is the point.
Elijah, what's up? Elijah's one of the first, like literally one of the first viewers on here.
Oh yeah, what's up, Elijah? I haven't seen you.
A lot of people have been. I've seen Elijah sneaking back in as of late, but okay. What's your argument, really quick, so I can dissect it, so I can go on about my merry way.
I'm saying that I agree with Jaden that the Social Security funds today will be depleted unless there's some type of change. And I actually agree with what he's saying, that you could increase the pot by taking away the fact that there's a cap on how much of your earnings you have to pay into Social Security. But the big beautiful bill does nothing to increase that from happening. That's going to happen no matter what, unless both parties get together and say, hey, this is what we need to do to make sure we have money in this fund, because we've been using the money.
Didn't you say that Trump was going to prove a bunch of stuff when he became president?
No,
I know that
Greg
said this. I know that Greg said this, but I also thought that you said something very similar.
No, yours and mine is that the prosecutor from Atlanta would never come back after her situation with her.
I also thought you said that his cases would be overturned.
Well, that case never ever got anything happen to it. It actually
still
went
has
away.
to pay that money. No,
not in that case.
He's still paying that money.
Wait,
he still owes Eugene Carroll
case?
$90 million.
Funny.
No, that wasn't the case.
No,
I
thought we were talking about the other cases.
No, we were talking about two things: Fannie Willis, Bonnie Willis, and the other thing we talked about was that he'd never have to pay the $485 million for the real estate.
Okay, what happened with that?
It's in appeal. It's still in appeal. They say that that could come out sometime in June, but that you do know that the appellate court heard it, and when they heard the case, they were not real kind to New York.
No, I did hear that lie that went around, but no, that didn't happen. In fact, it was weird because myself and I'm going to get off here in a second, but myself and Law of the Wild were really confused when Republicans were saying that somehow he was getting offered that hearing was favorable to him because it happened 2 weeks prior to when it broke, and everyone started saying, "Oh, look at look at what happened here," and literally nothing happened. So that whole
Well,
thing
I'll
was really
listen
confusing to
to the hearing, but
watch.
we'll see. We'll
Right,
see
right,
what the
right. But
appeal is. But
my
I don't
cool, but
believe he'll pay
there
485.
was a but hold on. There was no real question. Donald Trump, they set aside 175 million dollars. So there's currently, I don't know, 300 million dollars. It's up for contest. So he's
Right.
gonna have to pay. I think it's 175 million or 250 million. And there's other money. And the question is not whether or not he's gonna owe money out of that. The question is how it was tabulated, because from the appellate court's perspective, it looked like Trump was double charged. So it may be that it's reduced some, but he's still going to have to pay portions of that. Is that dog okay?
You can take
No,
that thing to the
I
vet.
think you sort of get into a question here with this dog that she's older and the trachea from her throat into her lungs is collapsing. So the question becomes,
That's unfortunate.
do you? Right now she's excited because we've been out of town for a week, but when she gets excited and she breathes, tries to take in a lot of air, she gets like this. But the question, when do you put them down, right?
They perform
Well, it's
tracheostomies for
long.
dogs.
Yeah.
Probably a lot
How
of
old is
money.
But this one's about 12 and a half years old.
Oh yeah, probably put that thing down.
That would.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry
Tough
to hear
one.
that.
Sorry.
Bones, why don't you join tomorrow? We're having a full day stream tomorrow. You can come in and debate, but I can give you 100% attention. Sorry, I had some stuff going on. I tried.
You got it. No
my
big deal.
like
I'll be around
one of my
tomorrow.
best
You'll be
friends.
happy.
I've known
Tomorrow's
him.
my birthday.
One of my
Tommy.
best friends.
Oh, happy birthday.
Oh, it's your birthday?
Yeah.
Happy birthday. You can hop back in on your birthday.
I only make 68.
Okay.
Well, you can join back in. So, but
Okay,
yeah, we'll
my
be live
friend.
at 9 a.m. Pacific all the way up to 4, and then I'll be live on Sunday. So check the broadcast channel.
Y'all be good.
All right,
Okay.
take care. Yeah,
Bro-
I messaged my friend. I've known him since high school, and I was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's like, "Who is this?" I'm like, "Tommy." He's like, "Tommy who?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "Which Tommy?" I was like, "How many fucking Tommies do you know?" And so I had to call him, like, "Bro," he's like, "I get texts like this all the time." I was like, "Okay, well, fair." Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to head out. I'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific. Everybody over on... Are you going to go live, Jaden?
No, Paige is live, and so is Santana.
Paige. Just read Paige. Just go over to Paige. Let's see if
Right.
anybody's live over on Twitch and YouTube. Riverboat is live, so we're going to raid over there. And then I will see you guys tomorrow.
Alrighty. See you then. Take care.
All right. See ya. Can I get a mod to pin Page? Sorry, I'm gonna... Why am I fumbling this? This is... this person's a deconstructionist. I'm gonna raid this person. We're gonna try something new over on YouTube. I'm gonna try something new over on YouTube. I'm gonna raid this person. Go show this person. Just be real loud. Let him know who sent you. It's a deconstructionist one. And then this one. Sorry, just give me a second. I don't know if this person's going to be good, but go show them some love. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow. Everybody over on Twitch, we're going to raid Riverboat Jack. I will see you guys tomorrow. Daughter's birthday party tomorrow. Actually, today is 25th. We're moving in 2 weeks. Happy birthday to her. Happy birthday to your daughter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.